Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one. I'll easily be able to line it up that time.
What's up, folks?
Hello, everyone. Here we are again. We're drinking something that looks a little bit different than a wine. And we'll say it's genuine because it says so.
Yeah. Think of NASCAR and sunburns.
Cheers. Yeah, so. I like how they make sure they tell me that this beer is cold on the label. Like, it's cold? Really, it's always cold. What if I leave it outside? Is it still cold?
It doesn't taste that bad. I mean, it doesn't taste good either.
Yeah, it was like $1 a piece, so. It's funny how expensive beer is here compared to Europe.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah, you come here and it's like a 6-pack of Coors Light is like 7 something.
Yeah.
Or 8 something, I think. It's over $1 a bottle.
Like normal Coors or the banquets?
No, normal. Banquet, I don't think banquets. I like the regular Coors Light more than
Really?
Banquet, yeah.
I like banquet with dinner, and I like Coors just kind of like the normal Coors Light. Just chilling like in the heat, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think that's their little goal with the banquet line.
Yeah.
It's like, are you a fucking animal? Drinking Coors Light with your nice Thanksgiving meal? This is a banquet, bro. Drink the banquet.
Yeah, I call it Coors, you guys, not Coors. So,
yeah
you're hearing
Coors.
it right.
I do like what they did with the label and how it changes color or whatever.
Oh, the Blue Mountains?
Yeah.
If it's cold, yeah.
That's pretty good because
That's the Rocky Mountains, boy.
Because I haven't seen anybody else do that. Like if Yingling came along, nobody else could do it because it's like, all right, you're clearly being a copycat here.
Yeah. Well, it's also the Silver Bullet. Those ones are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the Silver Bullet train or something, I think. I could be wrong. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, there's a train. That's like called Airstream campers. That you ever seen those campers?
Yeah.
Those very shiny aluminum.
Like what, 80s maybe?
Yeah, I used to live in one for a while they're building we were getting our house built.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live like right next to where our house was getting built.
Is there different sizes of those? I would assume so.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you got like the big enchilada?
No, it's pretty. I mean, we could have used more space, but it's like everything we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't need too much more. Did your bed, was that the kitchen table?
No. I know what you're talking about, though, because there's campers where it does that.
Yeah, a lot of them like to do that.
Then it folds down. No, I think one of us slept on the couch, and then because my parents had their own bed.
Yeah, in the back, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
towards the rear. And then I think we would alternate because my mom made some makeshift like bed on the floor.
Oh.
Yeah, and like my brother and I would alternate between who got the couch.
Which was better? The makeshift?
Nah, I think the couch was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that. I wish I could. I don't know how I can't remember that. It was like a while. Like we were in that thing for like a year while our house was getting built.
Was there a shower too, like bathroom combo, or were they separated?
Yeah. So the shower, you couldn't. My dad would like always get mad at us and be like, "Take a Navy shower." Like turn the water on. So you get in there, you turn the water on, you get wet, you turn it off, and you put your soap all over your body, and then you turn the water on and wash your whole body in one go.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like you turn the water on basically 2 times.
Yeah.
Because the way it worked is you couldn't. So on a camper, it has the septic tank in it.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to pump it out into the bigger septic tank, right?
Yeah.
Like the local facility.
Yeah, you don't have to pump it out. It's gravity.
Yeah.
It drains out.
Yeah.
And what would make sense is that because we had it spliced into our septic tank, because we lived in a trailer. We don't want to live in a trailer anymore. Got rid of the trailer, moved into the camper, got our house built where the trailer was. So during that time, we just had the camper septic system hosed into the actual septic tank.
Oh, because you guys live where there's no septic. Like you have to do septic. You can't do a plumbing. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we got well water. Yeah, we're off the good grid, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's what my dad does. He does septic pumps.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it was spliced in to the septic thing, and what would make sense is you just leave the septic tank like drain open.
Yeah.
Right. So it just continuously drains into the actual septic in the ground tank.
How many gallons do you guys have?
I don't know. It's a decent amount, but not enough to where we can all just take like regular showers.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he made us do this, but he would get upset.
Well, it just
with
gets
us.
expensive. That's really the thing. Like to pump the septic tank.
No, you don't have to. Oh, I know. Okay.
Yeah. When they come out.
Yeah.
That's
your dad does that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He does that.
Yeah, I heard that it's actually not that bad of a gig.
No, I mean, so he started that job like maybe right before or during the recession. So he didn't have a job. I don't remember if it's because he quit or because he got laid off. I really don't remember. But because he came from concrete, and that's like really good money. It's very laborious though.
Yeah.
So then his best friend, who's now his business partner, had like this old company, this old septic company, and then that went bankrupt just because he was owning it, kind of thing. Is my understanding. And then he bought the new one, and they had like the old number.
Septic tank is going to be a hell of a title for this one. Septic tanks and aliens.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But getting it pumped, yeah, that happened
Yeah.
one time with us, yeah.
But he's been doing that. So let me wrap this up. Long story short, he maybe made $10,000 the first year, and now he's making like over probably $500,000 now between him and like 2 or 3 guys. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just doing that?
Just doing that.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
Holy
my
shit.
dad's real heavy on putting it back in the business. So he'll see some of it, but the company sees most of it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well,
because that's how you should run a business, right? Like Amazon would not have been big if Bezos was like, "Oh, $1 million, let me cash out and let me start taking 900,000." Like, no, it would have fucking went to the ground.
yeah, it makes sense. But that one time that somebody had to come out and pump our septic tank out.
Yeah.
I remember him saying, dude, I remember the putrid smell of that fucking septic
It's
tank.
disgusting.
Yeah. He was telling us that you can't smell it anymore. It's just like,
if it's fresh, you can really tell.
yeah.
Because like that's the thing about porta potties. My dad likes that he doesn't do is those are fresh. But like when you're pumping a big, like let's say 1,500 gallon tank, yeah, the first maybe 10 minutes will be fresh because that's like more recent.
Yeah.
But after that, it's just like sludge. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Not much smell.
Yeah, but so what I was getting to is we wouldn't leave it open because what would happen is the duty would not drain out of the camper septic tank correctly.
Yeah.
Unless it had all that water and just like sink water and shower water built up behind it and it just washes it all out.
Yeah.
Because if you leave it open all the time, it doesn't drain correctly.
It's gonna be like dry and stick. Probably.
Yeah. So what he would do is every night he used to tell either me and my brother, he would do it too, but he'd be like, "Hey, go drain the booker."
The booker?
Yeah, the booker. So we would go out there and there was this like lever you pulled and it would go drain out into the
You were just pulling the air, right? Like the air pocket.
No.
Once you pulled it, like there was another like this, so you pulled this out and the shit went here. Is that kind of what happened?
No, it's literally just a trap door basically. This thing and
you
you
just
pull
lifted it up?
and then the hatchway opens and it drains out the pipe into the septic tank.
Did it ever get on you?
No.
No?
No.
Not even like a little bit?
No, because it's sealed up into a.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's like a nozzle like on the sink.
Yeah.
You just opened it up and it just there's no okay. My dad's business partner. I'll remember this to my probably till I die. He's on the top of the truck and it has 2 they look like manholes up top, right? I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Somehow the hose, so they had like a reservoir tank. It was only like 250 or 500 gallons, which is pretty small, probably about the size of this table, maybe a couple feet off the roof. And the hose like shot all the shit up in the air and it got all like it was like instead of rain, it was shit just coming down on him. And good thing his fucking house was closed because he was literally covered in shit. My dad's like, here's some sweaters. Like, he's like trying to wipe his face off. And I was like,
man.
oh, man, that's a That's a rough one right there. Jesus.
Yeah, you shouldn't talk shit about these trade jobs.
Yeah.
We
They are.
need 'em.
Mike Rowe. Fucking dirty jobs.
What is it?
It's a dirty job.
What'd you say before
Mike
that?
Rowe.
What's that?
You don't. What?
Who's that?
You never watched Dirty Jobs?
No.
Oh my God.
What did I tell you? I don't. Every time you reference
I would
something.
think you'd watch Mike Rowe though. So he's a dude that I don't want to say he got canceled, but they didn't like him.
Did he say like the word pussy or something?
No, he's pro like tradescraft kind of thing. Like legit, that was the show's premise was like, there's dirty jobs in America that need to be done, and yeah, they're going to be disgusting, but in order for us to live as normal
Who's
society,
gonna do them? Somebody has to.
yeah, that's the whole premise of the show. And he did like farm stuff. He did stuff like this, shit stuff, plumbing. Like for instance, that's could be dirty job, construction stuff, anything that you could think of with your hands. He was pretty much doing it, and he'd like teach me how to do it. I'll do it, and then you record me. It was really good for maybe 5 seasons, maybe a little less.
So they had somebody taught him how to do it.
Yeah.
And then he demonstrated that he could do it.
Basically, yeah. Like he would literally get like dirty, you know, on purpose a little bit.
Yeah.
But he would just show like this is why it's so dirty and this is kind of how you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
some of it was real, but a little bit of it was obviously exaggerated. But
Yeah.
the reason I say it was canceled.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood. Well, it was Discovery Channel too.
Yeah. Just figuratively for the spectacle, like, oh, I'm so dirty. He's in concrete. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Concrete.
And I think the reason he got canceled, I could be wrong, or he likes to say he was fired, especially off this new show that he was trying to do. But it promotes the idea that you don't have to go to college. You can do like tradescraft stuff and still get by. But like that doesn't meet the status quo. You know what I'm saying? Like big picture Hollywood kind of thing.
He was promoting that you didn't have to go to college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could still get by.
Yeah.
You know, like how the thing is we're in now
What's the
is
matter
like
with that?
yeah,
It's like a real thing.
yeah, you would think so. But he tried doing something recently. I wish I could remember, but he ended up getting canceled, almost like Tim Allen. You know who that is? Home Improvement.
Yeah, Santa.
Yeah.
Home Improvement.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. How are we gonna? I'm gonna tile.
Tim Allen did Home Improvement.
Yeah. He was the main guy.
Home Improvement. I know Extreme Makeover Home Edition with Ty Pennington.
Ty. Yeah. Not the same thing.
Okay, so I know that one.
Yeah.
You gotta give me credit on that one. Home Improvement, though.
That's a '90s show.
Yeah, early
Straight up
2000s.
90s.
Early 2000s, too. Had it when I was a little kid.
It probably ended in like '97 or '99. No, it didn't make.
No.
Yeah. I'm
Really?
happy to look it up. Yeah. Well, your phone's here.
Jamie. Oh, shit. Never mind.
Yeah, dude. So that's more of like an actual sitcom kind of show. Not necessarily comedy, but that was kind of what it was geared towards because he is a comedian. But he got canceled on his show. And I don't remember why. But you had like him and Mike Rowe are two good examples of like people that like want to inspire like the American way of life, and they just get shut down like every time. But like the thing about Mike Rowe is that he gave a lot of money to people to pursue. I think it was trade crafts. So like, hey, you want to go to school? Like, hey, I got this foundation. Go to college. But he got canceled still, and it's like, what the hell? And he didn't even get maybe like 1 season in or something. I can't remember. Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you watch a couple, just YouTube them. I'm sure they're out now.
Yeah.
Because it was around the MythBusters era. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never watched it on TV, but I caught up to it on YouTube.
Yeah. MythBusters is pretty cool.
It's that show is too referenced for me to just not be like, all right, what the hell is this MythBusters thing?
Yeah, the Asian dude passed away a couple years back.
Asian guy.
I'm pretty sure it was the Asian dude. I'm almost positive. Yeah, it was always the Asian dude, the redhead chick, the kind of like...
Yeah, the dude with the hat.
No, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember his name. He had glasses and a hat.
Yeah, he was like a character.
Yeah, and then the main guy, Jamie, I think, or maybe that was Jamie. And then you had one dude that kind of like spiked his hair up. But it was always like the blonde head chick, the dude that spiked his hair, and the Asian dude. There was like them three, and then like the two smart guys. Well, they're all really smart. I can't say the two smart guys, but the two main guys did some of the stuff. So they would like plan it, and then the three would go test it, see if it's feasible, and then they'd come back. Or the other guys would be doing like a side experiment. It was really cool. I mean, you watched it.
Yeah, that was it. Do you know what ever happened to it? That show?
To who?
MythBusters.
Oh, the show?
Yeah.
No, I just think they probably ran out of ideas because I know the main guy kept going on his own.
It seems like you would, if you continue that, you would probably get to the point where you're either gonna grow to become a show that everybody starts talking shit about because your ideas are stupid.
Yeah.
Or you're just gonna end it and then go down as like, a good example is Breaking Bad. They had the story, they knew how long it was gonna be, they made it, and they ended it. And that TV show, or that show is TV show. It's fantastic. Did you ever watch that?
I couldn't get into it, but I watched some because my buddy, and what I watched was good. But there's like, I think up until season 2, from what I heard, it's boring. And once you get past that, it's good. Okay, especially when they're in the RV. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I guess you could say it is boring because
not much happened compared to the rest. You know, like season 3 through 5.
I guess it wasn't boring for me because I knew what I knew like what it was going towards, and I wanted to see what it. And then I knew that it was like, because Walking Dead, I think that show is still going. They beat that. They beat that show from what I saw. It was great the first couple, but then they just started repeating itself, and it just beat into the ground.
Once Glenn died, I lost all interest.
Yeah, I quit. I watched up until that point, so. You know that show's going to keep going and going. It's like, all right, what are we getting to? But Breaking Bad, and plus I watched it after the fact.
Yeah.
It's like several years after. And I knew it had only this many seasons. I knew there was an endpoint coming. And I didn't know what the endpoint was going to be or what the resolve was going to be. So I wanted to tune into that so I could stick it out for the boring part.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching it
now
in 2010, I think it started, because I remember people were talking about when I was in like 8th grade.
Yeah.
You
little baby.
Yeah, I was born in 2005, and yeah. So if you're watching it during that time, you didn't know how long the show was going to go. You know what the end point was going to be.
Yeah.
You might lose a little interest.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Walking Dead had comics before it, because Sperm Donor has like 12 or 15 seasons worth, or whatever the fuck they have in comic books, and it pretty much aligns for the most part with how the comics are, but like I don't know, it just, some of it's not interesting. I don't know how to explain it. Season 5 was the last good season.
Yeah, it was so good too. They had it going. They should have just ended that show. Yeah, you don't have to keep making. Well, some shows go for a long time. What was it? Grey's
Anatomy.
Yeah, didn't that go for like 20, like that show was on in like the 80s or some crazy stuff?
No,
something was going on forever.
Are you talking about a doctor show?
Specifically? Could be. I think it might have been you actually that was telling me about it, how long that went on. This particular show, I can't remember. Oh, it's Law and Order.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Law and Order is like 25 seasons.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
but that's not
special victims units. I'll be specific because there is an old Law and Order.
Oh,
it's like CSI New York, CSI Las Vegas.
Well, I guess you can make those shows indefinitely because there's not, each episode is its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe once or twice throughout all the seasons it actually is 2 episodes.
Oh, you have to watch this one. Okay.
But it's never like, you could, so there's still the underlying story, but the basis of the case is different every time.
Yeah.
It's like you have the same characters, but like you kind of builds on the characters, but the overall, what they're working for is different.
Okay, so the only thing that's consistent throughout is the characters and their background. But it's basically like,
kind of adds to it.
Let's follow this character to work today to see what case he's working on.
Yeah.
I guess you could look at it like that. It's like a day in this character's work life.
Yeah.
And each day they have a case, and they magically solve it in one day that quick, and then the next day they come back and solve it.
They retire.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done, kids. Let's go to the beach for 30, 40 years.
They need to hurry up with so Black Mirror, it is a great show, but that last season they came out with made me kind of think like, all right, where are you going with this? Because that wasn't their best. No. Before Netflix got a hold of them, they were a far better show.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw the early episodes, one of them being the dude that goes into the simulation, the VR.
Yes.
That was really good.
That's my favorite playtest. That's my favorite
I think
episode.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Playtest.
And then the girl, her mom has like the video camera. on her eyes. Like it's like an implant, like a neural link. And the girl like goes through all of her life. She's like a teenager. She starts being a normal teenager, having sex, doing drugs, and her mom sees that on her tablet. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do.
Because
I didn't watch all the episodes.
Okay.
Because that
one was all right, but that's the two I saw and they were pretty interesting.
I cheated and I was like, all right, what's the best Black Mirror episodes?
Yeah.
Because with those you can hop around. You're allowed to because it's not linear or whatever.
Yeah.
But Playtest, Shut Up and Dance, and it was one that not many people liked because it wasn't typical Black Mirror fashion. It was the I forgot the name of it. It was the one with the little robot chasing people around.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So do you know the Boston Dynamics dog robot? It has 4 legs.
Yeah, and it's like they've been working on like an AI version of a dog, right?
Yeah. Basically, and it's a robot. Mm-hmm. So it was a Black Mirror episode, basically of it was called fuck, I just had a name. It doesn't matter, but it was a Black Mirror episode of just basically this robot dog with a gun chasing people around. And it was a really simple episode. It wasn't. You could watch it and not even have to think. You don't even have to be like, oh, what does this mean?
It was pretty straightforward.
It's an easy one. You don't have to think at all. You're just watching a straight visual entertainment.
Yeah.
It didn't have much of a story. So because of that, I think people didn't like it as much because a lot of the other Black Mirror episodes kind of make you think.
Yeah.
But this one was just straight up great entertainment. Mainly, one thing I liked about it so much because the CGI in it was fucking great.
Really?
This thing looked real. It was like
to the T.
Some of the best CGI, and plus the whole episode was in black and white.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really not like Black Mirror then.
Yeah, the whole episode was. I think it was. Yeah, it was definitely all in black and white. It's called like Gunmetal or something along those lines. And basically all it was this freaking robot chasing this person around. It was CGI'd perfectly. It looked super good. And I really liked that episode. And then the movie they came out with, Bandersnatch.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of it.
So Black Mirror came out with I think it's the only one of its kind. Netflix came out with a Black Mirror movie. It's called Bandersnatch. And it was an interactive movie. You get to pick.
My wife tried doing that one, and she said it sucked.
Yeah.
Because it kept repeating it?
Yeah, so... it's kind of like a video game, like Skyrim, for example.
Yeah.
You talk to an NPC and this like kick his ass, agree with them, walk away. It's one of those. It's like a movie like that.
Yeah.
And I tried to game, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do what it doesn't want me to do, because obviously one of the answers is like, okay, it obviously wants me to pick this one so the movie can play out. Hell, Netflix. I was like, no, I'm in control. I want this movie to go how I want it to go. And then eventually it gets to the point where it kicks you back to that scene.
Yeah.
It'll go a little ways down this path, but then, I mean, they're not going to film like 5 different movies.
Yeah.
I think there was some different endings to the whole movie, but I think it was only like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So I kept trying to make it do the absolute, like, not what it wants me to do.
Yeah.
And you can only go so far down, then it kicks you back. But you actually have to like pay attention in the movie, because it'll like it gets to this one scene where it's like it's not really a spoiler, but it gets to this one scene and it's like you have to enter the passcode to something. And he's like, man, what's the password? And then it comes up with options, and if you get it wrong, something happens. But I think eventually you get to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Mirror is great, but
was the endings good? Did you ever get that far, or you gave up?
No, I got to the endings.
It sounds like a lot of work too.
It was a little bit of work. I mean, it's a lot of work compared to how much input you got to put for any other movie.
Yeah.
Any other movie, just sit there and watch it.
Like a nasty slob.
Yeah. So I got to pick up the remote and pick an option. I can't just watch the movie.
Yeah.
But the other one, Be Right Back, when the husband gets killed in a car accident, she gets basically you remember those old little toys it's not really a toy. It's like those sponges that you would drop in water when you were a kid.
Oh, and
they
they
would
expand?
Yeah. She got a human replicated version of her husband with one of those.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she bought this thing, and then you like dump water in it, and then he grew into him.
Like same memories, or was he?
How
did that go?
No, it was physically just him.
Okay.
And he knew how to talk, but yeah, it's kind of a spoiler, but long story short, it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It was him, literally, if you're looking at him, but it just wasn't the same. And then she did some crazy shit at the end. Just Black Mirror style.
Yeah.
But the last season, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't Black Mirror at all, or it was, but they just weren't doing good with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. It wasn't. It just wasn't my most favorite season. They had this one called Striking Vipers. That was kind of cool. It was basically about these dudes in this video. So something about Black Mirror that I noticed because of the Striking Viper episode, the whole so the playtest thing, that episode with the little thing you put in the side of your head. Yeah.
The little girl or whatever?
No, the robot the video game simulation VR one.
Yeah.
So that technology repeats itself several times through the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it keeps getting brought. That's the only reoccurring element in that show I've noticed. Huh. Yeah, it's like because it did it in playtest. I think that was its first appearance. Yeah, it was in playtest. Like, all right, there's this technology where you put it in your head and you go to this VR Wonderland. It came up again in San Junipero when the dude from Breaking Bad was he went to his little VR world and he was like the captain of the spaceship.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah, the one you're talking about right now. And the girls rebel against him because they start realizing like. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's where I came in.
And you're talking about her.
The daughter.
The daughter?
I'll have to show you it. Yeah. The mom can just see. So if I look at you right now and you're like the mom, you would see that I'm looking at you. Like
okay.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like 4K.
Huh.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't remember that part. Yeah, so it came up again in that one. And then in Striking Vipers, it comes up again. The latest season, that episode, it comes up again. And it's kind of a weird episode because they're playing Mortal Kombat, a Mortal Kombat type game. And it's two buddies, both men. They like to play this game. And then they get on. And then they Mortal Kombat it up. But the one dude always picks the chick character, and the other guy picks some Asian karate dude.
Yeah.
And then they don't end up fighting. They end up fucking every single time they play it. So it turns into like this VR fuckfest.
Yeah. That's weird.
Which makes sense. If you had a video game that realistic,
yeah,
that's the first thing people are going to go to. Porn is the most popular thing on the internet. I think some huge amount of the internet.
How does a video game turn into porn, though? Is it the characters in the game doing it?
Yeah, so picture we can play VR and feel everything. We can be Mortal Kombat characters. But you just happen to be some hot chick. And then I'm some other dude. And instead of fighting, we're like, oh, why don't we just fuck instead?
Do they, like, what happens when the game's over? Are they able to see each other, or does it just keep resetting?
Yeah, so what was funny is, so they would, in virtual, they were fucking each other.
Yeah.
Two guys playing as a guy and a girl in a video game were fucking.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, shit, are we gay?
So, oh my god,
dude, there's this, and then that I've kind of spoiled it for you, but I'm sorry, it's too good. So they thought they started questioning their own real life sexuality.
Yeah.
So they like met up
That's
one
so
day.
random.
They met up in the street, and then he was like, they like walked up each other, and then he was just like, and kissed him. Yeah. And he was like, all right, did you feel anything? And he was like, no. And then so like they were testing to see if they were gay.
Yeah.
And then they ended up fighting each other.
What?
Yeah, they got mad at each other or something. It's a fucking crazy.
That sounds funny as fuck.
And one of the guy's wife, oh dude, it was so crazy at the end. The wife of one of the dudes, because I think the other guy was single. The wife of the one guy started getting mad at him because of the amount of time that he was putting in this video game.
Oh.
And on top of him, then she found out later that he was VR fucking this video game character.
Yeah.
And she hid the implant device thing from him.
So he couldn't play.
But it got to the point where, because he would no longer want to have sex with his wife in real life. It ruined his sex life.
Yeah.
Which is a real thing. That's like that for sure happens to people if they get addicted to porn and VR shit. And she didn't obviously like that. So he agreed to stop playing the game, and then like they didn't like that. And then he was like, "All right, I still want to play the game." So what they in the end of the show episode, they ended up agreeing on. It showed him getting the thing back from her, and her taking her wedding ring off and going out in town. So the agreement was, I can play my game and fuck this video game character, and you can go out in town and pick up whatever dude you want to.
Ew.
Yeah, that was the agreement they came upon in the end.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, he's not fucking her anyway, so.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Ugh. At that point, you might as well just get divorced and be single.
Oh, that show is so good because it's not too far fetched. It's like everything is believable, and apparently something about how 2020 was in real life. They didn't want to make a season of Black Mirror because it's like Black Mirror was happening in real life or something.
Wow.
And Joe Rogan brought it up, and somebody from like the producer or somebody high up in that show stated that was like the reason they didn't feel it was appropriate to come out with a season of Black Mirror or something.
There's this guy on Joe. It's a really, out of all the shows that I've watched of Joe, it's top 5, maybe top 3. It's that good. I don't remember. It's some Asian dude. You probably watched it. He has a really colorful shirt on, like a Hawaiian shirt. He's Asian, has like long hair, and he went to go like hunt for dinosaurs. Remember that episode? Yeah, it was like some myth out there that like the dinosaur was still in this jungle, so he wanted to go fuck around and see if it was.
No, I saw somebody else that was into dinosaurs. But, yeah.
It's really good. But he talks about, I think he was so we got to go back in time, like 80s, maybe 80s is fair, maybe even 70s. When VHS was popular, and he's like a 12-year-old kid, maybe 10 years old. He's pretty young. This dude, and he's saying that like he popped in his first porn video, whatever, and then he was just like literally doing his business in his bed with his brother above him because they had bunk beds, and his brother was like, "What are you doing, dude?" But he was like, "Oh, nothing. I don't know what the hell he said, but he's like, I'm not
scratching."
Yeah. And so he says from that point on through a good majority of his life, he just got addicted to porn, like very, very bad. And like extreme versions of it too. So like, I don't want to go into the detail on it, but like it's really good to watch. And I bring that up because like if you're talking about this movie, some VR video game, like I wonder what this guy would have been like if he was married. If it probably would have been the same thing, you know, where it's like, yeah, I'm fine with doing this as long as I still get to be with you. I don't know.
Yeah.
That agreement.
Well, it definitely ruins people's lives.
Yeah. I mean,
marriages.
He talks about how it ruins his. Just being a single guy.
Yeah. So you bring that into a marriage. Good luck.
Yeah. Must have been rough.
Yeah, I hear guys talk about it all the time. They're married and they love watching porn.
Yeah.
They might be they might not be being serious, but they'll jokingly be like, "Dude, I watch more porn since I got married." They say something jacked up like that. I don't know if they're just joking around, but...
You ever seen the movie Knocked Up?
Nah.
Once
again.
It has Seth Rogen in it. It has the dude that plays Ant-Man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's him, though.
I know that.
And so that character specifically, He is married already, has like 2 girls or something, 1 or 2, maybe 2 kids. I can't remember. And he like ends up going to the bathroom and taking care of his thing or his business. But it's so funny. I think his wife walks in on him or something. But he's like talking about that. He's like, it's my only private time. I could be wrong on all of this, but I know for sure he does that stuff. Yeah. But it's just kind of funny.
So talking about like, we'll see if I can somehow tie this in. All right. So VR, video games, CGI, boom. So CGI, when I was talking about before the show.
Yeah.
So SpaceX, I don't know if you were aware, they launched a rocket recently.
Last week, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw something where they launched like more satellites.
So
it could be different.
Maybe I shouldn't say launch. They did a test flight of a rocket.
Okay.
The vertical landing one. It goes up and then it comes down.
Yeah. Another one?
Yes. And this one looks kind of weird. It looks a little bit different. It's a little bit wider. It's black, and it looks like if it took off and then turned horizontal, it could fly like a plane.
Oh wow!
It has like small winglets.
Yeah.
On the bottom end of it. So I have no proof of this. I'm just going off intuition and what I feel like it looks like. So it launches and everything. And then it comes back down like SpaceX rockets.
They perfected it though, right? They were able to.
They're perfecting it.
Okay.
It's getting better. This one appeared to work, but it didn't work, and I can get into that afterwards. So it launched up. It went up to like 80,000 feet, and then it fell back down, and then landed vertically, and where it took off.
Was it controlled on the fall, or how did the fall work?
Yeah, it laid down its stomach, and it descended like that.
Oh, just let gravity take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it flew up, then it turned on its stomach, then it fell down.
Okay.
And then, very close to the ground, like not even thousands of feet. It didn't even look like.
Yeah.
They kicked on the thrust again, and it whipped around in vertical, and then it landed, and it set down just fine, which is good because Elon's justification is if we're gonna make this a thing where we're doing it often, you don't get on a plane.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, you don't get on a plane and then they land and then it blows up and they're like, all right, let's get another plane.
One time use,
yeah. Yeah, just one time. It's not feasible. You can't do it like that.
Look out the window, kids. You're about to die. Yeah. Hopefully you liked your fucking chicken.
Yeah, so that it makes sense. So there's a scene in it, this video clip, and on the official SpaceX YouTube channel, when it is descending back down, and they have several angles of it. But this angle that they recorded this in, so it's coming down, and the thrust kicks on, and it whips around, and then it lands. The shot they used for that sequence is 100% CGI'd.
No way.
It is without a doubt CGI'd. And I was going to go on to say that, did they even launch this rocket? Or are they fucking with us?
Oh.
So I was like, they can fake that. It's too loud. It's just too. They did it in Texas.
It's big.
Yeah, it's just too much of an event that could be like faked.
Yeah.
And so, sure enough, I found 3 different videos of people recording it from their iPhones. So like very amateur footage of it flying up and then landing. I was like, okay, so I didn't think it didn't happen, but I was like, why are they CGIing this scene? Maybe it isn't CGI, but dude, I'm telling you, I've played enough video games and seen enough CGI in movies. This is no different.
Yeah.
And so I saw plenty of
360
amateur videos of them recording it, taking off just with their iPhones. What definitely wasn't edited in any way. It was one clean shot. And then I was like, okay, so why are they CGIing it? Like, why couldn't they just film it for real?
Yeah.
In that scene. Maybe they did. I'm just going off of
the way it looks.
It looks, just look it up. and I can show it to you, but I'm telling you, bro, it looks so CGI'd. But my question is like, why'd you guys CGI that? You had a camera there, just film it for real. Like, the second you start, maybe they did it because I don't know, they just wanted to create a cooler spectacle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a little CGI in there, spice it up. But when you start doing that shit, people start wondering like, okay, what do you like? Why you gotta fake it? Just film it for real, and then let's see it. So I saw that, and that was pretty interesting to me. But rest assured, there's other video clips of it actually going on and stuff. So it was good to see that. What you looking at over there?
I was gonna try and pull up the YouTube on my phone. It's saying something, and I need to turn it off because I don't like what it's saying.
Yeah, but I think NASA before was
what the fuck?
NASA got caught before in like the 60s photoshopping pictures of and this is like proven. Let's talk about Rogan a good bit. It's the same picture. People like lined it up and stuff and proved that it was the same picture. And they've photoshopped guys in training into space. They like took pictures of them doing a fake spacewalk.
Yeah.
And they cropped them out and then put them in a real spacewalk. So when you can send people on a real spacewalk, why are you faking it? You know? Because when you start doing that, you start making the populace start wondering why you're faking things. You know? If you're doing it for real, why do you need to fake it?
So what is the one that they did recently where they launched more satellites?
I didn't see that.
No? I could have swore
But
SpaceX.
that probably has to do with their Starlink thing.
That's probably what it is. Is that their
worldwide internet?
Yeah.
You get almost the whole world with a pretty decent speed.
Do you know what the difference between what we have now versus that? Like, what is it just the fact that we're not communicating between other satellites for other countries?
What do you mean what we have now?
So, like, our internet, right? Like, let's say, I don't want to say let's say company A, right?
Yeah.
In America, and company B and C. So, what's better between this and Chinese ABC or even European ABC? So, why is it like, what's good about it?
So, I think his main target with this is to get internet to everywhere in the world. Like, all the desolate areas in Africa, desolate areas in, like, rainforests and deserts. That's the point of this, to get internet to them.
Oh, because we're relying on, like, towers and shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, they don't...
Yeah.
It's basically, they don't have the infrastructure in, we'll say, like, South Sudan.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't have the infrastructure.
Oof. Okay.
So, guess what? You don't have to worry about it anymore. You got a receiver, good, it comes out of the sky from these satellites.
What do you think the... I don't want to say moral. What do you think would be wrong with that? I want to see what you think about this. If not, I'm going to just go into it.
Worldwide internet?
Yeah. Everybody in the world has access to the internet. What do you think about that?
I could probably come up with something, but nothing
so what I'm thinking
too much off the top of my head.
Is you have these violent extremist organizations. You have ISIS, you have Al-Qaeda, you have Al-Shabaab, and some other fucking assholes. So then you connect them to the internet. You give them that free.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're enabling them to get on the internet easier.
Yeah.
You're giving them a voice.
Message and get bigger and worse.
They know that's going to happen too, so.
How do you prevent, like, what do you think for them to prevent that? Like, how do you, that goes into these things that we run into as Americans, like the Patriot Act and the, there's another fucking one I'm forgetting. But, where they see your data, you know, is that something that we'd be all right with? Like, under the premise, right, that it stops foreign entities or even people from causing violence? Like, so you think Facebook's a fucking problem? Think about Tesla controlling that, like, way bigger than Facebook. Because now you're not just where the internet's at, you are the internet.
Yeah, worldwide internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has a huge responsibility on his hand. So you better... I don't think he's in the business of... I say he, but I don't think him and his companies and all that are in the business of, all right, you're on our internet. The whole continent's on our internet alone.
Yeah.
We're going to suck up all your data. I don't think they're... I don't know. I don't know how it works. I mean, Apple is pretty vocal about their stance on not being having tracking on like Tim Cook is like in a debacle with Zuckerberg right now over his fuckery on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tim is all about like you should not be collecting all this data. You're collecting way too much data.
Yeah.
On these people.
Well, I think it was them. I think it was Tim and his crew, about him not having a moral compass. And I think
Zuckerberg.
and I think Elon has a really good moral compass, but it's not on the leader necessarily. It is a big thing. Leadership is a huge thing. It's obviously emphasized like everywhere, but it's the minions as well. So like the people doing the dirty jobs of going through and like investigating, because like I keep seeing it recently, and I think this is my conspiracy, is that YouTube is going through every channel now to see if it goes along with their terms and services. It doesn't matter where you're at, because I've seen 3 or 4 channels in the last like month get shut down, and they're video game channels, and I'm like, what the fuck are these guys getting shut down for? Like, they just play video games, and that's all. That's literally all they do is produce fucking video game clips and movies, whatever, or short films for like maybe half an hour at most. And they got shut down. Like, one dude reviews computer parts, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what could this guy possibly be? And I bring it up because like you have people that work for this big company, and they start imparting their own personal views. Yeah. You know, if you think the cops are bad, think about someone fucking with your data. That's probably way worse in some cases.
Did they say like why they got shut down? Did they like make a post?
No, there's no. It's YouTube just saying bye.
Yeah, they always come out because they deal with the gun channels all the time.
Yeah.
They make posts about it. They're usually all on social media, usually whenever they get a strike. And they'll always say the same thing. You violated our terms and conditions. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, which one? I literally did nothing illegal.
Yeah.
I shot a gun. I mean, you can't even...
I just think YouTube's doing that right now. They're hardcore diving into everybody's shit, no matter how big or small you are. My conspiracy, man.
They
could be wrong, could be right.
There's a problem with like them being the only video platform too. Like they're the video platform.
Rumble is the only alternative that I know of.
Rumble? I haven't even heard of that one.
So I bring this up because there's some right-wing conservative platforms that are out there, but they're not. It's not really right-wing. It's just fucking freedom of speech, like normal, how it should be.
You can say whatever you want. That's definitely right-wing.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. It's a stupid, it's like no, Parler. You remember Parler got the heat for the fucking storming? Mm-hmm. Parler is just the opposite of Twitter. And there's one to Facebook, but I could be wrong. I don't remember if Parler is that one. I don't know. I know Parler for sure is the anti-Twitter everything for the most part. It still does moderation, but it's for actual violence. Yeah. Not like,
you're doing something
he said
illegal.
Something, I'm so hurt. Ooh, nothing that. And then Rumble is different than YouTube. So you know how you like, subscribe, all that bullshit. So you would subscribe or whatever still, but it's not that, obviously. But when you're rumbling, you're fighting for the top spot for the week. So every Sunday or Monday, whatever the day is that they have, your shit resets. Not like overall, but just for that week. So whoever gets the most rumbles, it looks like a glove, wins, and that's how like they get money and revenue. So like if you're actually popular, you'll have the most rumbles, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's like strongest or the strongest or survival of the fittest. But like compared to YouTube, it has it has its own place, but it's free, like anything. You can pretty much put anything on there, like 2A for sure, no problem. And even Patreon, I don't know how they are now. I could be wrong, but I believe a lot of people went to Patreon because it's like OnlyFans. Yeah. Hey, if you want to see my content, regardless of what it is, come watch.
I heard people posting gun videos on Pornhub.
Really?
Yeah.
That's some good porn.
Like
some good gun porn.
It's like a legit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about
interesting
Pornhub getting into...
My wife would kick my... Babe, what are you doing on Pornhub? It's guns, I swear.
Tell your girl you can just hear that it's obviously not a gun video. There's not enough gunshots in this. Too many other sounds.
Yeah. Shit. That's a good one.
Pornhub caught a lot of heat apparently over... So they have like the community tab. Oh, holy shit, I was on Pornhub.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You were too.
You nasty bitches.
I bet you were too. But
I'm a saint.
Actually, you know what? I never got on porn. I just saw this in the news. That's how I know about this.
Jesus is life.
So they got into a lot of heat because they have the Pornhub community thing now. Well,
Okay.
not now. I don't know how long it's been around.
Yeah.
But it's basically kind of like YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as in like you can make a video of banging your girlfriend and then post it on Pornhub community. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got into this heat over, and rightfully so. There was this thing going around where like a lot of these girls came out talking about that I don't know exactly. I think they were kind of like sex trafficked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was like the article was like the girls of Pornhub or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like this really fucked up thing. Like it was these videos of dudes like banging unconscious girls. And, like they would
that's like disgusting.
Like make a video of them like opening their eyes and like touching their eye, and they wouldn't react to like show that they were completely unconscious.
Jeez.
And banging them.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did that get past them?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you so? And somebody that I know brought this up to me, and we were having a conversation about it. And I was like, so a video of sexual interactions by nature is illegal if there's no proof of the age or of consent, right? So YouTube is different because nothing that goes on YouTube by default, maybe in the early days, but now is not really illegal. So what I mean by that is people get shut down for, good example, what we're talking about, like making the gun videos.
Yeah.
Like you didn't do anything illegal. Shooting a gun and showing you shooting a firearm is not illegal.
Or disassembling it. Yeah.
A video of you shooting someone is illegal because it's murder.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about police body cams either. I'm talking about like someone just making a video of them gang violence we'll use, for example. But by default, porn videos are kind of like a guilty until proven innocent, because you even have videos like channels that are like people are just gonna be like, yeah, this guy watched a lot of porn. But
your mom's gonna slap the shit out of you.
That's why I haven't told my family about this show. But
where's mama?
So to post a video of you, because consent is what porn video comes down to, right?
Yeah.
Consent, period, has to be established, or that's illegal, or they have to be of the age of consent, or that's illegal. So unless it's obvious that it's like MILF porn or something, like, all right, obviously this person is over the age of 18.
Yeah.
And consent was given because they're part of this, because there's like porn companies.
Yeah.
And like production.
Contracts and shit like that, yeah. I had a friend that he did or he was going to do porn. Dude, it's pretty funny for a minute.
Yeah. So when you're part of those companies, then it's understood that like, yeah, this is a business where we make movies and everything's cleared because like we're consenting and we're of age.
Yeah.
The problem with the community though is I don't think they had any kind of regulation on it.
So anything went.
So you could just post a video of it's like, okay, who the fuck is this person? Are they even old enough?
Yeah.
Well, if there's some 17-year-old or 16-year-old.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. This is illegal by default unless it's obvious.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because some girls or guys can look older than they are, when in reality they're a child.
Yeah.
You don't think of that word as a child, that person as a child, but you have children and adults. You don't have like, oh, but I'm 17. Look at me. It doesn't care. Nobody cares 18, in the eyes. Yeah. 18. Period. So Pornhub got into this heat over that, and I was like, it's a simple fix. They can keep the community thing, and just let people upload their own videos. It probably makes them a lot of money. Yeah. So that's what's in it for them. But all they need to do is like they need to have people like set up a verified account kind of thing and fucking send in a photocopy of an ID. I don't know, something like that. How you gonna get proof that these people are because it's child pornography. It's literally child porn.
So what would be different between YouTube and Pornhub when it comes to accountability of authenticity? If that makes sense. So like even Twitter, right? You just get a blue check mark.
Yeah.
But they don't have to ask for an ID. Like they know it's you.
I think it's because a video of people having sex has a lot more serious consequence. You're on the
Yeah, I see that.
You're verified of age or it's child porn. It's like a thin line. You have to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
Versus you're not really Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
The seriousness is way different.
Yeah, the seriousness is way higher. So they need to like.
Yeah.
Okay, Pornhub, are you posting child porn all of a sudden? Are you just trying to get completely shut down and like people arrested?
Yeah, it's a transnational crime.
Yeah, you should probably make sure everything's in place, and then once everything's cleared, it'd be fairly easy. I don't the consent part, the age thing is easy. If you want to post porn on here because of just what it is, sorry, you're gonna have to submit a freaking ID.
Yeah, I think that goes into the argument of I fucking hate the saying of normalize this, normalize that. Like, there's some things that should, yes, be normalized. There's other things that should not. Mm-hmm. 2 examples. Pedophilia should never be normalized. I don't care who you are. Never, ever, ever. Because it goes into, 2, sex being normalized. Sex work. Work is sex, sex work, whatever the fucking saying is. Yes, sex should be, and sex work should be normalized. But if it leads into pedophilia, this thing of having sex with an individual, whether it's a boy or a girl, and they're not able to consent, whether it's through drugs, alcohol, or they're asleep, right? They just cannot consent. That should be fucking out of the question. You should not normalize that. And then I just bring it up because like there's a huge difference between normalizing sex work and then pedophilia, because that goes into like what you're saying with the kids. Like, it doesn't matter if they're 17; they're still a child.
Yeah. It's a child.
Yeah, everybody in pretty much every society has agreed that 18's the age. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it kind of makes me think of Ashton Kutcher. You know, like hopefully you fucking know who he is.
No, I know who he is.
Because he pretty much quit his career as an actor and went after.
Who was he? He's the somebody, right?
70s. That's 70s show.
Okay. Yeah.
He also was in a couple movies.
Is that the vampire?
Huh?
Is that the Twilight guy?
No, that's
soon to be Batman.
Yeah, something Patterson. Robert Pattinson.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Well, I fucked that all up then. I'm like way left field.
And he pretty much quit his acting career, which blows my mind that this doesn't get the attention. Like, people know about it, but it doesn't. People don't talk about it. I'll keep going into my point. So he quit his job as an actor that I know of to pursue his career in basically finding predators.
Shit.
Yeah, not just, I don't think in America, but I think everywhere. But this is a good thing that, like, the seriousness of Pornhub compared to, like, YouTube is, like, yeah, we want to know if you're fucking smuggling people because, hey, there's, I don't know, millions of people every year across all countries that are missing because they've been human trafficked for work or sex, you know? But I bring up Ashton because it's like, how is this guy not like in the news more? Like, how do people not care about this? Like, what's his name? That dumb Epstein bitch. Like how he went through the news and then it was gone, and then Netflix tried to bring it back with their show and then it was gone. Like the media didn't care about it, but they care about this other political bullshit that has zero relevance in reality. Because if you think about it, so like let's say Amber Alerts or people that are trafficked, they just go missing, right? Think about that being on the news or on your phone every day. Do you think that problem would exist anymore? It'd probably be there, but it would be 1% of the 100% that it is, you know? Because the media talks about bullshit that it's happening, but they misconstrue it. So like, hey, we're going to make you look left field, but not at right field because right field doesn't matter, if that makes sense. But, like, man, we should be worried about, like, I hate saying the kids, but like it's a real thing. Like if you care about the kids, then talk about them being abducted. Talk about them being sex trafficked. Don't talk about bullshit and then just say, oh, we're going to add the kids. We care about the kids. Like, no, you don't care about the kids, because if you did, then you would try and stop them being compromised.
Yeah, and it blew my mind when I was like, they just let anybody post anything. Like there's another thing about that story, if I remember correctly, I think some of the titles, the literal they didn't even have to watch the video. The literal titles of the video were like fucked. It was like unconscious girl X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the other.
Ew.
You know, it's like, but is that so there's a lot of videos that they're fucked up, but you can tell that it's like one of those fetish things. I don't watch these, by the way, folks.
You're into that furry, aren't you?
No, I have a friend that told me about all these. No, I'm really not into that. But there's plenty of videos that are like weird and fetish type stuff. But you know it's like just that. It's just a fetish. Like this person isn't actually getting choked unconscious and like tied up, and she got in trouble, so now he chokes her out and fucks her or something. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's cringeworthy acting, but something illegal didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate? Because even the fetish videos of like bad shit happening that didn't actually happen have like fucked up titles to them. But then there shouldn't be have anymore. Should be all gone.
Yeah. Off
the platform. You had videos of the title being like, no, I actually choked her out and did whatever. How do you start differentiating what the fetish weird stuff is? Because people should be allowed to have it's simple. You should be able to do what you want with porn videos as long as you have proof of this. Well, I don't really have the answer to proof of consent. That's harder. And proof of age is easy.
Yeah, ID.
Have verified. Like there's this thing that's called Verify Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a Verify Me type system in play. It can't be that you're the biggest porn platform that has a lot of money and assets. Figure it the fuck out. You can easily figure it out. I don't have the answer. That's your job.
Yeah.
But I have the concept in place, and the fact that it didn't have this blew my mind. I was like, you're just gonna let anybody upload? Are you kidding me? When you give the power to the world like that, do you know what's gonna end up on your platform? You're treading on legality, like stuff being legal, and child porn.
Yeah.
Like if I knew that was on my shoulders, I would not fuck around.
I think
with that.
I'm thinking of two things here. So I'm thinking you get into censorship with the titles, right? So you say, hey, you can't title your stuff this, so we can legitimize. But eventually, obviously, the bad people will catch up and they'll start doing that. So that's not very viable long term. And then the one is the Verify Me, and then they turn into bad apples later on. So right now in time, they're doing fine. They're actual legitimate companies, but they start being shady, you know? Mm-hmm. Then long term, that one sucks too. So I don't know. I don't think there is a real long term solution, especially if you talk about money worldwide. Like if you're going to do a plan and then it fails within 5 years, maybe even less, did you even get your money's worth? Did you actually solve what you were intending to solve?
I really don't know how they would fix it, because YouTube has this problem where a video that is displaying nothing that is illegal gets reported a bunch. It just gets taken down by the system. Yeah,
the algorithm.
Yeah, because there's too many videos and not enough YouTube employees, Google employees, whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like a police issue.
Yeah, there's not enough human element to it where they can watch it with their own eyes and get other people to look into it, like, no, this isn't illegal. Yeah, he said he might have said something that was fat shaming.
Yeah.
But is that illegal? No. Is it offensive to some people? Sure. But what are we in the business of, like, censoring illegal hate speech, or like things that are offensive? So with Pornhub, offensiveness isn't really. Look, it's a video platform of sex. Like we're kind of like past that, so we need to pay a lot of attention to illegal shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're gonna. It's just too many videos. How are they gonna manage?
Well, AI at that point becomes difficult to train.
You can't. I don't think we could ever. I'm not gonna say ever in our lifetime have an AI watch this porn video and then this porn video and be like, all right, which one is illegal? Yeah. So, I don't know how they do it. I know one solution is they probably shouldn't have created this monster, and that's the community thing. They should have just left it to only companies.
Well, that might be their solution, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're maybe thinking solutions of what could be done but won't last when all you have to do is get rid of the problem, and that's the community tab.
I do applaud them, though, for coming up, because the vast majority of so posting a video of you having one sex having just one sex as long as it meets the two things that we were talking about.
Yeah, consent and age requirement.
I don't think I'm really forgetting anything. Definitely those two, might be more.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it really is just those two, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, consent's kind of dual-hatted, right? So there's certain ages that you can, like, I think, because you can get married in other countries at, like, 13.
Yeah.
Or, it's gross, obviously, but, like, I think if the parents accept it or whatever, or it might even be a culture thing, like, hey, wait, we want our woman to be married at 13.
Yeah. That's consent over there, but to us, we'll just say, like, I don't have the solution to that, so I'm not even gonna go down that.
It's a very big problem. Yeah.
All right, so they know what we mean when we say consent, and nobody can get mad at us. Yeah. Sorry, I can't include everything, but those two things for sure.
How dare you not include everything?
So much stuff. I can't really think of anything else.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a fucking comment section and an email.
Yeah.
Put me on blast.
Call the cops.
Yeah, call the police. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so that should be an okay thing. Look, if you want to make a video of you banging your girlfriend and you want to put it on the community, then go for it. Which is pretty crazy that they did that, because you wouldn't think of that being like a thing.
Well, it's because the bad guy, right? Any bad guy out there is gonna do what
ruin
they can.
It. Yeah, do fucked up things with it. Like, and they should have known that. And some of the stuff was like in their face.
Yeah.
Just blatantly obvious that. Yeah, and I don't know how they gonna vet every single freaking video. If it's coming from like we'll say Bang Bros or fucking Brazzers.
What are these sites?
Yeah.
Please tell us, Jonah.
I don't know what those are either. I heard about those.
I am a person.
Yeah. If it's coming from somebody like reputable like that, okay, we can assume that it's okay. It's cleared. It's just porn.
Yeah.
But when you get into the community thing, I don't know how you're gonna fix that one.
I don't know. You could tell me what they did after, but what they should do is they should freeze all future postings, review those, and then in order for you to post again, you have to be verified.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
That, and they need to hire, like, I don't fucking know. They have the money. They definitely do.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, figure it out. You know better than I do.
Yeah.
Get a ton of people, and you're going to make them a porn addict, because guess what their job is? They're going to, by human interaction, vet these videos. How about that? And then they clear them.
Why don't you just hire people that already watch porn? Use what you have, right?
Are you a porn addict? Do you want to get paid to watch porn?
That sounds like a clickbaity fucking phishing ad.
Porn addict? Question mark? How about getting paid?
Flashes, like 4 different colors.
I really do not know how they would fix that.
That'd be a solution,
the ultimate solution is do away with Pornhub community. But I don't necessarily agree with that, because I think you should be, and I applaud them for, I mean, you can't even post a fucking video on YouTube of disassembling a gun.
Yeah.
But you can go on Pornhub and be like, yeah, I'm just going to make a video of me banging someone.
Look at my 6-inch long dong.
Yeah. So, good on them. I guess something kind of. I keep trying to tie these subjects in.
It's porn. There's no caveat.
No,
to
it kind of
this.
is. So deepfakes. Somebody that is very annoying to me in my life wanted me to talk about deepfakes. And
give her a knuckle sandwich.
the way my tie-in works is that there's deepfake porn. Yeah. I don't want this whole show to be about porn. I'm trying to step out of the porn now. We're getting a more G-rated subject, maybe PG.
Is it too hard?
Huh?
I said, is it too hard?
What?
Changing the topic.
No, it's not. So there's deepfake porn where they're like, "Oh, I would love to see Adele get banged or something." So they deepfake her face onto some woman, and then you watch Adele get banged. But all right, so we climbed out of the porn ditch.
We're cleaning our filthy hands.
But so the deepfakes thing, it was like, so before this past election, I saw a lot of speculation going around that it was going to be weaponized in a bad way.
Okay.
To, I don't know, for example, simplest example, let's deepfake a video of Joe Biden saying something that he didn't. And look, because it's so real and you can't even tell.
Yeah.
If you had a deep fake of Joe Biden going up there, or just, it'd be more convincing if you caught like his mic was on, he didn't realize it type thing. Like those kind of videos always have like more weight to him because it's like, see, he thought he wasn't on record, but he was.
Yeah.
And this is kind of shit he says when he's not on record.
Yeah.
So if you deep fake one of those of him saying like, I fucking hate, I think white people are superior. Something simple like that would just easily get people pissed off. Or something racist, xenophobic, whatever you want to title it. I don't think Muslims should be in America.
Yeah.
One of those, that would very easily really fuck up his thing.
Yeah.
Like
credibility, everything.
Yeah, that thing gets out and it goes around mainstream media. Depending on how the media wants to prop him up, he's gonna have to hang it up. He's just done. How do you can't recover from that one?
Yeah, well, you can't prove it either. That's what I mean.
It's like, I didn't say that. Oh, you didn't? Well, you did, because here it is.
Yeah.
You literally did. Oh, that's a deep fake. No, it's not. You're just using that for an excuse. No, it's literally a deep fake. So, but the second, so they're relatively new too, because I think maybe 2015-ish, that time.
Yeah.
That was the first video that I saw of a deep fake. I think it was of Obama.
Mm-hmm.
The first popular deep fake video I saw going around was they deep faked Obama's face onto Keegan from Key and Peele. You know, Comedy Central, Key and Peele.
Yeah. Which one is that? Well, they're both bald, aren't they?
Yeah, the bigger dude.
The taller guy?
No.
Oh, the chubbier dude.
Yeah, chubbier dude. Yeah. They deep faked his face onto Obama, and then they deep no, other way around.
Deep beep beep.
They put I'm not gonna say it anymore. They put Obama's face over Keegan.
Yeah.
And then he had an Obama impersonation. He impersonated Obama saying something ridiculous, and then, unless you could tell by the voice impersonation, it was convincing enough to where if you weren't really paying attention, it's like, what did Obama just say? What the fuck? So they've gotten better with the face
moving.
Being overlaid on somebody else's face. People, it's open source software. You can make your own deepfakes. It takes several hours.
Yeah. It's just like advanced Photoshop almost.
Basically, it's like video Photoshop.
Yeah.
And it's gotten way better. Like there's this meme not going around, but probably still is going around, but went around a lot.
Yeah.
Where people were doing this thing where they would deep fake Nicolas Cage's face on a bunch of characters from
I saw that.
Random movies.
Did you see the Lord of the Rings one?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That was funny.
Yeah. So the visual part is gotten very good over the years, and it's pretty much almost perfect. Not quite. It's gotten way better. But they this is where they fucked up, and this is where it's like, all right, you can just completely ruin someone's entire credibility in life if they're a high up person. They got the audio down. They can deepfake people's voices now. There's a video, a very, very popular video that came out a few years ago. It's Joe Rogan, his voice. It's not a video of him being deepfaked onto somebody else's. Yeah. It's just a voice video. And it's him talking about chimps playing hockey, I think it was.
I think I've heard this.
Yes. And it is damn near indistinguishable from him. It is not. He never said that. Yeah. It is a created AI. It's fake, but 100%. It sounds. If you took that and took a video of him saying that, you mouth the words to it, he could go up there and you could just be like, I want him to say this. Type it up, give it a little bit. Probably not even that much time at all, 10 minutes. Deepfake his mouth, because they probably have it now where it's like, okay, what sense do you want that your made-up character to say? Okay, and then it will learn from the mouth movements, because Joe Rogan is perfect. You have hours and hours
of thousands.
Yes, of HD. It's prime machine learning environment. Like, all right, you task a machine learning software to learn the mannerisms, the speech, everything about Joe Rogan. Here's 1,000 hours of 1080p footage. All right, now learn. You just plug that into it. It's going to be able to create a very good replication of him. And so you could probably now, in conjunction with deepfaking the audio and the visual, the face, it will probably learn the mouth movements to match. It'll create mouth movements to match your created sentence. So you're literally creating a fake interaction.
Yeah, that people could think is real.
It's to the point where I'm surprised it hasn't been weaponized yet.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah, and as far as like it made news and then it came out like 2 months later that was actually a deep fake.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that going on yet?
Yeah.
I don't know how, because that seems like that's coming. But somebody on Joe Rogan, might have been freaking Baker, CIA agent dude.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The guy that beats around the bush and never answers any question directly.
Yeah.
Mike Baker. I think he was talking about this past election potentially being tampered with using deepfakes. We didn't see any evidence of it. Maybe it was. I don't know. But it's pretty scary because what if someone deepfakes? I don't know how this would pick up enough speed, but freaking deepfakes Putin saying he's going to shoot a nuke at us or something simple like that.
Yeah.
But in a convincing enough way that it makes its way to like the eyes of the generals of this country, military generals, and is not shot down enough time that like, no, that's not real. That was a deep fake.
Yeah.
That we start like mobilizing troops or something. And like we're getting ready to go to war all because of some 15-year-old kid found this open source software and thought it'd be funny to make a joke out of that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's like,
hard.
Is the military even like is this on the radar? Like, all right, we need to watch out for them deep fakes now.
Yeah.
I fucking doubt that. Maybe they are.
Yeah.
But what?
There's this funny video where they, remember that Step Brothers scene where they're in the room together? And they're like, what? Did we just become best friends?
No.
I'll share it with you afterwards. I got to slap the shit out of this guy, you guys. They crop over John C. Reilly, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
And then they do Arnold Schwarzenegger over Will Ferrell. And dude, they have him doing that part, and it's fucking voice and everything. You're like, oh my god.
Wait, the voice?
Yeah, voice and face.
Wait, voice of Arnold?
Over Will Ferrell, face and voice over Will Ferrell's character. And
so they made Arnold say the same line? They had the Arnold voice saying the same line?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd it sound?
If you had never seen that scene before, you would think that's actually Sylvester Stallone. And
wait, but how did the voice sound? That's really interesting to me because
authentic.
Really?
Yeah, like what you're saying. Like, if
yeah,
you close your eyes, you're like, that's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
that's
please
Arnold.
Show that to me because I've been trying to find.
It's funny. It's a comedian. It's like skit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, yeah, there's cool things you can do with it that are funny. But then like reality, what I was thinking of is like, imagine you're on like simple radio, right? Or even a cell phone. And you get a call from who you think is your leader. And it's like, hey, go assault over here. Mm-hmm. Roger that. And you don't even think to do like a challenge. And then you're fucking going into fucking red territory.
That's
bad.
Ooh, I could have a tie-in to that one too.
Let's see.
What I got a tie-in to the tie-in. So what you just said about getting a call and then something like that. The whole visual thing, I got it. Like it's established that's good. The audio thing has not been established to me from what I've seen, but now that you bring that up, I'm really interested because I saw the Joe Rogan voice thing, and then I haven't seen anything since there. Like, how's this technology getting? Like, I want it to get better, but it's double-edged sword because they're gonna make it good and it's gonna be used for bad probably.
You know how you're my bad. Pause real quick. Is you know how you're looking at cars? Like, let's say you're looking at a Tahoe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day you see nothing but Tahoes.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen to you. You're not looking at any deepfakes. Yeah. Now that you've thought about it, you're going to start seeing more. It's going to come up. She's listening.
Yeah. Well, I'll go and watch one, and then YouTube's going to be like, oh, you like deepfakes?
This is all you like.
I know you watch like a bunch of... No, but you should just watch deepfakes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I see this thing that's being born, but it's not complete unless both are in place.
Okay.
The voice, because that's all you need is the voice and the face.
Yeah, you need the machine to learn it.
Yeah. So when you have those two and they're both good,
yeah,
you got the ingredients, baby, to do whatever you want. So I haven't seen anything besides, like I said, besides the Joe Rogan thing. But when you brought that up, that has me really interested because, like I said, I've only seen one example, so I'd like to see another one. But there's another video of so the original video clip, you might have seen it. The original video clip is, it's kind of funny thinking back. It's like one of those talk shows, those stupid talk shows. We'll use freaking, Jay Leno, for example.
Yeah.
There was a movie actor, I can't remember who it was, that went on Jay Leno. And the original video clip is he's talking about how he filmed a video and then like, I don't even know if he was filming a movie. He was doing impersonations of other actors. And the original video clip of him just being like, yeah, and Al Pacino was like, and he said something. And then like later on he was like, yeah, and Sylvester Stallone said, like that. That's the original video clip. Well, somebody got a hold of it. And then when he said Sylvester Stallone or whatever character was like, he deep faked their face onto him in that instant. So he became the character.
Oh.
And it does it so good that you don't I had to watch it 2 times before I caught on. I was like, man, he's like he looks like Sylvester Stallone. What the fuck? This guy's doing the best impersonation ever. Like,
you have to show me this.
Yeah, he could do the voice and he just turned into him. He like had the facial expressions down perfect. I was like, dude, that's a good impersonation.
Yeah.
So that's how deepfakes have been up until this point. It's the face is good to go, passes the visual test, but the voice isn't quite there because people are impersonating them.
Yeah.
But now that you got the voice down, but that was the point I was getting to. People were talking about, well, I say people, might have been Mike Baker again. Somebody on Joe Rogan was talking about the audio deepfakes being used as scams. So I think the scenario that he brought up was, okay, so now you get spam phone calls nowadays.
Yeah.
That are, what's the common one? Your car's registration X, Y, and Z. This, that, and the other. Pay this amount of money, or this will happen. That's like the simplest form of a phone scam, particularly a phone call scam.
Yeah.
People don't necessarily fall for it too much. Elderly folks do. They just do.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because they just do. It's not because they're dumb. It's just maybe because they aren't as up to speed with the times, and that these are real things. Phone call spams. So the next level to this is like, okay, they're not falling for this automated thing that their car registration is. You know, I bet they'll fall for their wife calling them saying they're held hostage and that they demand money.
Yeah.
And it is indistinguishable from your actual wife calling you and is being held hostage. Yeah. What are you gonna fucking do then? I bet you'll listen then. It's no longer a scam. It will be later on if this starts reoccurring. It's like, it's funny. My wife called me and she said it'll be a funny thing.
Yeah, like standing right in front of you or something.
Yeah. But that was a thing that was brought up, and it's kind of scary because it's like it comes down to the whole you're not able to distinguish thing. You can't differentiate from falseness to reality because it's going to get so good.
Yeah.
Like that Rogan thing. Yeah, you put that up to any unsuspecting. Hey man, you want to hear something funny Joe Rogan talked about? Listen, he talks about chimps and hockey. They would listen to it and be like, haha, that's funny. And he'd be like, that was a computer, right? He never said that. This is a fake recording.
They'd probably think you're a liar.
They'd probably think I'm lying to him. It's like, no, it's not. Yeah, but that was something that was brought up. So when this thing is born, this whole deep fake thing, I'm looking forward to it because of the entertainment value. Like, come on, you can take any person and make them say anything. Imagine somebody has to do this. They can deep fake. We'll say who has a lot of, like, Rogan obviously has a bunch of time on the air and a lot of stuff to pull from. Alex Jones also has, well, maybe not. We'll say Elon. We'll just use Elon. There's enough video clips of Elon out there on the internet where you can teach an AI to learn its voice and learn its face. Imagine someone's YouTube channel. They create a YouTube channel of a spinoff of Joe Rogan, but it's a deep fake conversation going back, and they make it the same length and everything, but they create their own conversation.
It's like some back-assed story.
Yeah, it's something that's like an alternate. It would literally be an alternate universe.
Yeah,
like the alternate universe theory is like, the one of you, there's a million of you in existence a million times over, or something like that.
He hates fast cars. Yeah, doesn't do jiu-jitsu.
There's an alternate universe. Joe Rogan is fat. He doesn't like chimps. He thinks martial arts is stupid, and he likes riding bicycles everywhere instead of driving cars.
Yeah,
you could create that. It would be a reality. Do you know how popular that would be? It's just a straight up shit show of them just talking nonsense.
Yeah,
and it would be so good because you can't tell. It would be real to you for all you're concerned.
Especially if you got mixed up, if that episode got mixed up with this actual episode. So
what I just thought of is whoever comes up with this, you're gonna owe me like a couple $100 because I'm the first one on air saying this idea. The person that does come up with this, I think, because the assumption is it would be indistinguishable. The moral obligation is you put a fucking watermark on there to alert people that this is not real. This is a deep fake conversation. Like, make it different in some subtle way.
Yeah.
So if it, Facebook, you open up Facebook one day, Joe Rogan says he wishes Elon Musk would just fucking die because he hates him. Well, that person should have something overlaid or just put in the video somewhere.
Yeah.
That would, one, alert people that it's a deep fake, and two, would make it very difficult for someone to remove it and then sell it as reality.
I was gonna say they could do, if you're talking about removing it, then it's anything at that point. Like at that point, if you're talking about deep faking, you could deep fake a video, put it in your software, and change it up from there.
Deepfake the deepfake.
Yeah. So I was saying you could put like a third eye. You remember how Joe always has like a third eye? In the deepfake version, you could put a third eye on whoever he's talking to.
Yeah.
And then you could deepfake that to where it looks like normal Joe. So the deepfake becomes the deepfake.
Yeah.
Like you're saying.
It's a shame because I look at this with a happy outlook, but someone's gonna fuck it up and then just get Joe Rogan canceled.
Right, and then like he wakes up the next day and he's canceled. Spotify's calling him to cancel his contract.
Yeah, someone deepfakes him saying that he thinks the Spotify agreement was fucking stupid and he regrets it and he hates the studio that he's in now. I hope they don't do that.
How do you think moving forward you would legitimize anything? You couldn't. Unless you have a hard presence, hard signature.
Oh, like a very obvious like thing that, look, this is me and this deep fake of me. I mean, just look at it. That's clearly not how I act. Are you talking like that?
No, like, so you're talking about Joe like shitting on Spotify, for instance? Yeah. He'd almost have to sign a paper saying like, I'm never gonna do this.
Oh, he would never say that?
Yeah, like how like that. How do you bring the authenticity into this?
So if a deep fake got made of him saying that, then it's like,
oh, look, I have this piece of paper that's saying
I would never say it. Well, how would I go on record saying that? Does that make any sense to you? Do you think I just want to fuck up this deal? That's a deep fake. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because then you could like skew what he said already and say, I don't know, like clickbaity, not clickbaity, soundbite. So you take one soundbite and then you kind of add it up and like, oh, well, he's been talking about how he hates Spotify, you know?
People already do what's called sentence mixing on YouTube, where they take sentences and splice them together to make them say, or words from different sentences and say like, something crazy, but it's obvious that it's sentence mixing because it doesn't flow correctly.
Yeah.
So it's like all deep fake audio. There's a name for it, I'm sure. Like deep fake, we think of like the face thing, but the audio, what is that? I'm just gonna refer to. I don't know the name of it, so it's deep fake audio to me.
Yeah.
The deep fake audio is going to be sentence mixing, but there was never. It's like, so when you sentence mix words, you take a word out of this sentence and a word out of this sentence. They were already said, and they were said in different tones because maybe in this sentence it was said this way. It was a happy sentence. In this sentence, it was not as happy sentence, so it was said in this tone. So when it flows, it clearly doesn't flow.
Yeah.
Because you're taking already stated things and trying to force them into a sentence. Well, with a deepfake, everything is created, and you can go in there and say, "No, I want this sentence to sound like this. Let me just turn it down. All right, now it sounds good. Now, because you're not taking already stated things. Everything is created.
Yeah.
It's all new. So it's limitless as to what you can make this person say, whatever you want. And this is going to be a great thing for comedy or like just silliness. Movies, dude. This is a conversation I had with I don't think I've had this with you. There's always going to be a business of actors and actresses.
Yeah.
But there is going to be an increasing, and I used to say this more for, so I'll go to that. So I used to say that there's going to be less need for physical actors and actresses, like a Tom Cruise of the world. And there's going to be less need for them because people are going to start CGIing movie characters and creating them. We already had Carrie Fisher in Star Wars after she was deceased. So you've already proven it. So why do you need to go out of your way to try to find the perfect actor to fit this role? Why don't you just fucking make him?
It's an anime at that point, or animated movie.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it that way, that's kind of a deep fake.
Yeah.
That what you're looking at is where deep fake is going.
Fast 7, Paul Walker died.
Mm-hmm.
He was already dead.
Oh, they put him in there.
Yeah, he's his brother in literally did CGI.
They deep faked his face.
Yeah, you could tell in some scenes because it was like the pioneer era of deepfake. But yeah, there's when he turns his face in certain scenes, you know it's
that is a a lot of times that's a dead giveaway. In these deepfake videos I see, when they turn their face, it doesn't. It'll fix it. They're gonna fix it in a matter of. It's probably already fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're witnessing, Hollywood calls it CGIing somebody's face. What I call it is what deepfake is going towards. That like what you're looking at with Carrie Fisher and Paul Walker is a deepfake. Mm-hmm. They probably even had their voice. Did he talk?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I mean, no.
He never spoke. I could see that though, because maybe they couldn't.
He smiled.
Yeah.
So one of the things too is him and his brother look like fraternal twins, but well, identical, but like they're slight fraternal in the face. Yeah. So in like one of the ending scenes, he's like looking at the beach, so you don't even see his face.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's easy to hide it that way. But Carrie did say stuff.
Yeah.
But she also died. Well, spoiler alert, she died in the last one. But like, was she? Did they not film that?
Did they film? Yeah.
Because it's obvious that she died because she died in real life.
Yeah. So they already have. They're showing us what deepfake is going towards, something that's damn near indistinguishable, and but I think the voice though with that, I don't think it was AI'd. I don't think they AI'd the voice in. They might. Well, I don't know.
Well, they've had a good amount of her.
No, they probably did. They could
all 6 episodes.
They might have AI'd it in, because if that was already filmed, why they need to deep fake her face?
Well, that's the thing about the software. Like, how much do you need? What's sufficient enough for the system?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't need a lot. Because maybe you just need a little bit of every letter. Maybe like 4 or 5.
Yeah. So I was thinking that's probably how they do it. They just, we'll use Rogan again, for example. Fuck that guy. I hate him. No, I'm just kidding. Let's just get the deep fake software, for instance, the software that you want to create a deep fake voice for says, welcome to the deep fake AI voice thing. First, we need your source. We need a input of them stating every these vowels.
Yeah.
And then these words and this, that, and the other. Maybe it states a requirement as to what it needs.
Yeah.
And then you plug that in, and then that's all it needs, and it goes from there. I don't think that would be the best way. I think it just has that in the background, and it just says, all right, just drop in hours and hours of content. We got it from there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because if it is Carrie Fisher, let's say they had 100 hours, and they just threw it in there, and then it just sorts what it gets, right? I don't know. That might be the thing. It's not picky. It just says, give me what you got. And then from there, a status bar, what we make is going to be 50% accurate, or it's going to be 98% accurate. That might be what happens too. It
seems like it would be I don't know, but it seems like it could be as simple as all right, type the sentence you want. All right, here's what it'll sound like. And it spits it out. And you're like, that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
And then it has to be AI that knows what you mean. It's no, it needs to sound more serious. Mm-hmm. Well, AI has no clue what do you mean by more serious? You got to tell it teach it what more serious is. So maybe you would have to have human interaction with it and say, all right, this sentence is serious. This is a serious tone. And then you teach it. It's okay, so that sounds serious. Let me go back through the 18 hours of footage and find an example that it would have to be something that it'd be a lot of data. It'd be a lot of stuff to comb through. Imagine combing through every word of 18 hours of footage.
That'd be a hot-ass computer.
That thing would be sucking up the power grid, bro.
Yeah.
That thing would be making Bill Gates mad again about the Bitcoin miners. You know that pussy getting mad about the Bitcoin miners?
Bill Gates?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. I call him a pussy because what he said was completely unfair. I'm sorry. There was some article that came out pretty recently, this month, and he was trying to virtue signal about the environment, and he was saying that Bitcoin mining is one of the most like environmentally unfriendly uses of energy because it sucks up a lot of energy because you've got this nice massive computer thing going on mining.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh really? You're one to talk about computer stuff using energy, Mr. fucking Xbox 360, Xbox One. Shut the fuck up.
Well, Windows, if you buy a Windows key, it comes in a little plastic wooden or container, whatever.
Your systems alone, your company sucks up a ton of power.
Yeah.
You're definitely one to talk about.
You're the last person.
Like shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just be quiet. He's lost a lot of credibility. Well, in my mind, he lost it all for me with that. And then he has some other stuff going on with COVID and all that.
Yeah, he tried to get involved like an expert. And I'm like, dude, you're a computer guy, just stick with that.
Yeah, like shut your mouth. You're not. It's like Elon Musk one day. He's like, no, I'm a paleontologist. I know a lot about fucking dinosaur fossils. And I'd be like, I don't think you do, man. You're like the rocket ship electric car, man.
Yeah.
So
physics.
Yeah, you're not the. But when you brought up the dinosaur bone thing, I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about this. So he needs to have this guy back on. Rogan had a legit paleontologist on, like a legit dude that goes out and Jurassic Park style, brushes it away, and it's like, all right, we have a fossil of a velociraptor. He was one of those guys, and he wasn't like your typical science dude, what you would think, like when you think of like any kind of ologist, and anybody with
something studying,
insert ologist, one of those kind of people. You think of them like a really well measured, like professional looking person who's like very well spoken, this, that, and the other, just a high character person. Well, the dinosaur man that he had on was he was hilarious. He had like a hockey jersey on. He had him on 2 times.
What jersey, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was a hockey jersey. It was a jersey of some sports team.
Yeah.
And he had like a dyed like yellow mustache or something. And he was very vocal and very passionate about dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
And so Rogan just wanted to get him fired up, I guess. And he had Jamie pull up. There's this guy that when I used to go down the rabbit hole several years ago of all the theories. There's this guy on. He's probably not on there anymore. Maybe he is. Probably definitely censored more. Hard to find. But his name was Eric Dubé. That was his name. And he was this dude that made a lot of videos talking about flat Earth theory. Like he had a book. He wrote a little pamphlet book. But he also had a very long video. It was like, I think it was like hundreds. I think it was like 100. The video was called like 150 proofs that the Earth is flat. And he just came out with this video. He talks about all these things, and that's the kind of content he made.
Yeah.
When he made this one video of dinosaurs being fake. It was like 20 reasons why, 20 reasons proof, 20 proofs that dinosaurs never existed. And so he had he knew this guy would get furious about these videos.
Yeah.
And he had Jamie pull it up and watch it. And he would play a little bit of it, and that dude, they were watching it, he'd be like, bull fucking shit. All right, pause that. And then he'd like go on and just like talk about how all this was true. And then one scene that really got him just fucking upset. Like this guy was actually getting, he probably should have turned the video off because he was getting like actually very.
They were like poking at him.
Yeah, he was like, hey, glad he did it because it was a funny video and I'm talking about it. So other people are probably talking about it. It's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
I'm glad he did it. But the one piece was their dinosaur. The reason why dinosaur bones exist, I can't remember what he said dinosaur bones actually were. Like, what are we actually finding then? I can't remember what he said. But Eric Dubé said the only reason why paleontologists are like in the business of being dinosaur bone finders, or why they even talk about finding bones, is because of money and spectacle in the news. They're doing it all for the money.
Yeah.
They know it's fake. They're just doing it for the money. They come out and they have this fake bone. They say, "Look, we find it," and then they get a bunch of money. And when he said that, it really, really pissed him off because like he said he did not make very good money at all.
Yeah.
Like as in like he's close on his rent kind of income.
Yeah.
That kind of income.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Yes. And when he said that, he was like, he went on that long rant, and he was like, "Fuck you, Eric." And like you flipped up the screen. And then later on, and like he's a big dude, like somebody you wouldn't like.
You wouldn't want to fuck with him.
He's like has the bald head and the goatee and his dyed. He's like that character. He has that look to him. And then Rogan was saying something like, "Well, I could have you on the show and I could have Eric in here." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking come in here with a baseball bat." And he was like, and Rogan was like, "Hey, all right, you're not gonna hurt him, are you?" He was like, "No, I'm not, but he's just fucking pissing me off, man, with that shit."
Yeah.
But it was so funny. I've never seen to me, he's the fat dino man. That's all he is in my eyes.
Huh.
But he's like, he needs to have him back on again because he's a character. He's
to solve this dispute now.
Yeah, he's the crazy dino man. That's super. Imagine having an angry astronaut. An astronaut goes. I mean, there's plenty of flat Earth, space is fake thing.
Yeah.
You have a freaking Glenn Beck, one of the astronomers, moonlanders.
He had him on, right?
No. I'm saying like if I don't even know if Glenn Beck is still around, but like imagine he has Glenn Beck on, someone who landed on the moon.
It says that you're a fucking joke. Yeah.
And then he pulls up a conspiracy video and he goes, "God damn it, fuck you, man!" He flicks off the camera.
I know you're talking. I saw something recently about Glenn Beck. It was probably last year, but I saw a video about him recently.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. It might have been an interview or something. Maybe I'm just
I know one of them.
Idiot.
I can't remember who it is. One of them gets very offended about moon stuff being brought up to him in person, and he punched a dude in the face one time. Like he legit assaulted someone over them saying he didn't land on the moon.
So what I attribute that stuff to is, I don't know, 60s, all the way through today. Yeah, from the 60s. From Vietnam. That's the first time people kind of publicly distrusted the government, I think, as a collective group.
Yeah, it started around that time.
Yeah, especially Nixon, Watergate, why were we in Vietnam? Who's the other president? Not before Nixon. Or, no, after Nixon, maybe? No, it was
Carter?
before.
No, Carter. Definitely not Carter.
Carter came after.
Yeah.
Ford did too.
I don't know.
Who was after Eisenhower? Our LBT?
Lyndon
B. Johnson. LBJ.
OBJ.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
L.
Yeah, LBJ.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Not OBJ.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr., not him. That's a football player.
Who's the dude that murdered somebody?
Oh, O.J. Simpson.
That's what I thought of.
Does the glove fit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were we talking about that?
No.
Me and somebody were talking. Dude, I could swear it was you. We were talking about how fucked up it was that the glove. Yeah, it was. Okay, it wasn't here.
I need to study the whole OJ thing.
Okay.
I don't know the full.
Yeah.
I just know bits. It was something about a glove, right?
Yeah, but apparently they got it. So that's what we were talking about. Is they got his hand. Like, imagine like your hand. Like, right, you wake up, your hands are just your hands. But then you start like. Like a pump, right? You get like a pump in your hands, and obviously they're going to be different.
Yeah.
So apparently this is what they did with OJ, his attorney, is they made him like work his hands out so they're like blood's flowing. So then like not only they swelled up, but now it's obviously not going to fit in the glove, right? So like if you go roll your ankle and it starts swelling, you're probably not going to fit your boot in that or your shoe in that boot, right?
That's what he did.
That's what they were saying. I don't know if it's true, but
oh god.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like the famous saying is like, if it doesn't fit, acquit, or something along those lines.
Mm.
And it's obvious that this fucking glove is not going to fit this bulging hand because they were just pumping it up. And how fucked up that was.
I don't think my hands balloon.
But that's what the
balloon up.
That's what the court
defense attorney and all that bullshit
believed. They believed if it doesn't fit, then he's not guilty. That was the sole piece of evidence that got him free.
Really?
Swear.
Oh, holy shit.
Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, you guys, but I'm pretty fucking confident.
Did Toy Story take that and rip it off when the chick in Jessie was like, "Does the boot fit?" You remember that scene? Well, if the boot fits, you remember that scene?
Nuh-uh, keep going. If the boot fits, do you remember it? Oh my bad.
No, that's it. I'm sorry.
Maybe they did.
But
it'd be a facetious thing.
Yeah, like they're making a play off of another quote, except
Yeah.
they spin it to make it more.
Well, then the ironic thing is that he wrote a book after, and saying if I did kill her, this is how I do it.
Oh, and then he describes how he actually did it.
Yeah.
Just like modern day O.J. Simpson chick version, car in the trunk or child in the trunk chick. Oh, come on, man.
If you say her name, I'm gonna. I know you're talking about. She had to go into witness protection, right?
Probably, because it was
Casey.
Anthony?
Anthony?
Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, 100% did kill her kid or something.
We're gonna get sued here, but what's the name? Who's the famous cook? Fucking shits on everybody.
Oh,
Hell's
Gordon?
Kitchen.
Gordon?
Yeah.
Gordon
Ramsay. So there's a girl, same last name, something Ramsay. I can't remember, but dude, the fucking brother did it. Like, without a doubt, the
brother
parents
did what?
killed this little girl. So
Same as the Casey Anthony case?
it's kind of similar, like, and even OJ. So like the thing tying them all together is the fact that this person murdered that person, but for some reason they got away. So like the mom and the dad knew about the death because the older brother killed the little girl because she was like 4 or 5. She was in all these pageants and stuff, so she was pretty well known. And the parents waited to report the little girl missing or something, or that she was dead. I don't know. I never really watched the whole thing, but basically, like, the thing is, the brother got acquitted because the parents covered it up pretty well. That's like what it leans into. And Netflix made this huge thing, and they ended up getting sued or whatever for a civil lawsuit because he was obviously found not guilty. So you're what's the word? Not defacing that person.
You're slandering them.
Yeah, you're basically shitting on their name.
Yeah.
There's a name
ruining
for it.
their reputation. That's a real thing.
So like Casey Anthony, like, she fucking did it, but then she got acquitted, and since double jeopardy exists, she's not going to be retried.
I wonder if she, like, and this isn't calling on bad things to happen to Casey.
Yeah. She's not. No, she's someone else now.
Oh, she freaking Breaking Bad that thing and wiped her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if she, like, fears for her life.
Oh, I bet she does.
Like, I wonder how she lives.
Anybody in witness protection. Like, think about a gang member that ratted on their fucking grandmaster.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, they're scared.
Think
about
she
the mafia.
definitely lives in Bolivia or something.
Think about the mafia.
Yeah. So, who on the same topic of
taco? Are you hungry, you fat thing?
On the same crunch wrap as who was the dude that had both his legs? He was the Olympic amputee who shot his wife in South Africa.
No, I didn't know about this.
Oh, come on.
Dude, inform me. I want to be an expert.
Let me, the name is very relevant to the point where I need to look it up. Just stand by for 1 second. I'm going to, as soon as I see him, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, there's damn, the Casey Anthony, dude. I do not remember all that, but I know that it was fucked. I didn't follow the trial during that part. But that's a thing that I learned in class is the jury, especially with Law and Order Special Victims Unit, is when you're trying to pull a jury, you have to have a jury that's unbiased. So if the media is covering this large event, how do you find, like, even as like not even like a defense attorney, but even as a prosecutor and a judge, how do you assess realistically, truthfully, a pool of jury that have no idea what's going on? Like, that's one of those things that, like, once they leave that courtroom, they're being bombarded by paparazzi, news media. So it's like,
it's getting in their head, like,
then it fucking taints the jury, or not the jury, the trial process. That's not unfair. It's unfair.
Oh man, another tie-in, but
yeah, your enchilada.
Oscar Pretoriois, ring a bell?
Nah.
So, I'm not gonna pull up the full Wikipedia, but Oscar Pretoriois is this guy who, I'll say around the time frame of 06 to 2009-ish.
Yeah.
Shot his wife and killed her while in his home at night. So Oscar Pretoriois is a double amputee. This is the only reason why this made like big news, because he has a status.
Of
he's
being
like
an Olympian?
He's an Olympian.
Yeah.
And he's a double amputee, and he has like gold medals or something. He has high enough medals that he's talked about.
Yeah.
He had a reputation in that. And he shot and killed, not murdered. I think he was found not guilty of murder. Yeah, he was. It was a Casey Anthony type thing.
In America.
No, this was in...
You said South Africa.
He's South African, but I think this might have happened when he was in Australia.
Do they have what we have? Double Jeopardy?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Anyways, I was just curious.
Yeah, so he shot his wife one night in their house, in their home, and the story was he thought somebody was breaking into their house, and he was not able to get to his prosthetics and be like, so he's just like on his and understandably so, he felt vulnerable.
Yeah.
So his story was, because he felt vulnerable, he grabbed his handgun and started shooting through the wall, and it was his wife, and he killed his wife. And that was the story, and people were like, bullshit, he murdered her, and this, that, and the other. So it was one of those, like, makes sense.
Yeah.
If you murder your wife, if your wife dies in your household, regardless from your actions, or she just dies, you automatically get arrested. The spouse gets arrested, period.
Yeah.
Because they think something's up. And so when you shoot her, the cops are going to be like, or the authorities are going to be like, did you murder her? So this, that, and the other. So long story short, he was found innocent. He didn't actually murder her. When I was in The Hague, in the Netherlands, I had a friend there who was a group friend of ours. He was South African. He played rugby with Oscar Pretoriois.
No way.
When they were friends, and he told us, he was like, he 100% murdered his wife. He was like very jealous of her or something, very jealous.
Yeah.
And like
who she was as a woman, like in the community. Maybe?
I don't
mean
know.
that derogatory. I'm just meaning like maybe she was more popular. She had more friends. Like
yeah, I can't remember exactly what he meant by he was. In what way he was jealous or had some kind of negative thing towards her.
Yeah. I mean, he's also a W amputee. He might just naturally feel inferior just because his circumstances.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty wild hearing like a first-hand account from a friend of a guy that was in national headlines saying like, no, he definitely shot her and killed her.
I'd almost want a third input to see if there was any bias in that.
Yeah.
Because maybe they played one game and he didn't fucking like him, so he's like, yeah, this guy, fuck this guy.
Yeah, could be that too. Yeah. I don't know how
sleaze balls.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that this guy's discredited. Yeah. I would just love to hear a third one just to
I'd like to hear more just out of curiosity. Like, oh, really? Like, how long do you know this guy? Like, that's pretty interesting.
I mean, just being in the same presence as this other person would be insane.
Like, dude, if I, like, knew somebody only for a little bit and they went on to do something that made them in the headlines, whether it's good or bad, I'd tell people about that. I'd probably post all over it. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you think people change throughout their lives?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So do you think that maybe that's how he was at that point in time, and who he is now is different?
Who, Oscar?
Yeah. So I'm saying this guy that played rugby with him, right? Maybe he was jealous of his wife at that point in time.
Yeah.
And then maybe he was uncomfortable. Maybe he was just not courageous enough to, I don't know, maybe compete with his wife, right? We'll say something along those lines. And then over time, he kind of relaxed and was more accepting because it's my wife. Why should I push away from her? Mm-hmm. So then he was at the time of the murder was someone completely different.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So the person he knew wasn't the same guy.
Yeah.
when
So
it
if you
happened.
talk about like the jury pool, right? You pull a jury person aside. I don't know, the juror, I guess, is the thing, and you say, hey man, when this guy was a kid, or not a kid, when he was younger, he hated his wife. What do you think about that? And that fucks the process a little. I'm not saying that's like the thing, but I'm just saying like, or if you're called to the stand, right, and you're talking in front of the jury, does that hold up? Is that fair? You know, because people do change. So maybe he was at one point in his life, but that's not who he is now.
You want to hit the full enchilada?
Yeah,
We'll end it on that one. I'm gonna take a leak.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, sorry. So we're gonna take 15.
No, I got a story I could tell him.
All right, entertain us with the halftime show.
Okay.
Halftime. I can never get that word right. Halftime show.
Okay. Yeah, no, just fuck my camera angle up too. You actually did fuck it though. You're like,
is it still okay?
Keep turning it. Keep turning it.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's probably good.
All right.
Yeah, I have a story for this. I didn't really read the whole case because someone posted about it in school. Because we were doing like, you had to find a post for somebody, or sorry, not somebody, but a crime that was committed that if it made the headlines, it would be like unethical, like an unethical practice. Because that's what it was, like ethical something in criminal justice, ethical issues, I think, in criminal justice. And this lady posted this one. This dude had a neighbor that was gay, and he murdered him. I don't know if he shot him or if it was just like some other murder. I can't remember. But he murdered the neighbor because he was gay. But his defense was he killed him because he was scared of gay people, something along those lines. And for whatever reason, in the trial, it like held up, and he was acquitted of the crime. So he was literally just, I think that would fall under genocide in a sense. He basically targeted a gay guy, if you could say that. But we can't say that now because he did get found not guilty. He was given not guilty. So it's really interesting that defense worked when we talked about like fucked up defenses.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I was saying back there?
Yeah, you're talking about a dude shooting someone because he was scared of gay people.
Yeah, and it worked. Like straight up.
Like a legit homophobe. Like he embodied that word.
I don't know.
Homophobe.
I was just someone putting up I never looked into the article. I didn't. You know how you do references and shit. I didn't look into. I should have. It's closed out now. Kind of shitty. I should have looked into it more. But yeah, I'm like, man, how does this work? You know.
Defense attorneys are horrible people.
You think that?
Why would you want to get into that kind of work?
You know? So I actually
maybe they're not horrible people, but what you're doing, maybe you're one of those people that's like strictly business, man. That's all it is, which I get. But like what you're doing is horrible. It's
I think we talked about it last time. It's like a checks and balances. It's probably you should want it because so when I first read about it, they said that like some dude, it was about an O.J. Simpson case or something. You're a terrible person but a good attorney, and I didn't really understand that because the purpose of an attorney is to, right? You're innocent in America until you're guilty. So if we didn't have defense attorneys, you would pretty much be guilty until you're innocent. Which, in my opinion, a lot of people are still guilty till they're proven innocent. You know, because why would you arrest somebody?
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense that they arrest people because obviously you don't want the criminal, if it is the actual criminal, getting away.
You had to go off of something first, and that was you.
Exactly.
If you're always innocent, nobody would get arrested.
Yeah.
Suspicion doesn't mean you're. Suspicion is guilty.
Yeah.
In the eyes of a police officer.
I mean, they can detain you for like what 24, 48 hours, right? Without reasonable cause, or well, I could be wrong, but anyways.
There you go again. You stupid Alzheimer'd out person. Well, while you remember what you're saying, let me clarify. I say things.
Oh, why the defense attorneys exist. Okay, yeah. So the oversight. So their job is to make sure that that what you're getting charged for is actually something that the law is in place for, right? So like let's say you can't carry in a public place over here, right? Like that's an actual law, or you can't carry after 9 p.m. Whatever stupid law there is, right? So the attorney is basically making sure that everything in place from evidence. I was telling you about the other day, from custody, right? Chain of custody, from the time it was received at the crime scene all the way to the trial. Like nothing's been tainted. And then there's also like a precedent thing, I believe is what it is, or it might just be like a kind of a rule within the court system, is the evidence always has to be in favor of the defendant. It should never be in favor of the state or the Supreme Court, for instance, right? The prosecutors. So one example I learned last year was this guy, they were trying to say that he was the murderer in this crime, and there was a law passed saying that the state had to pay for an expert in whatever, right? So in this case, they needed to find an armorer that was an expert in being able to determine if this gun was used or if this was the actual gun, because it's kind of hard, like in terms of reliability. So like, you know how when DNA evidence came around, it was like, holy shit, we realized how many innocent people we have. It's almost like the same thing with gun stuff. Like there's nothing in concrete right now that's saying like if you use this gun, unless you find the actual gun, like no shit, that this is going to be what was used at the point of crime. So what happened was this thing was passed saying like, hey, the court can afford a $10,000 expert or a $500 expert, whatever you wanted. And the lawyer was not aware of this or whatever. And because of that, he hired some fucking dude that actually, he wasn't a pistol expert. He was more of a shotgun and maybe like a 22, like long actual rifle, right? So how is that guy going to be? That's like asking a car guy advice on how to purchase a house. Yeah. Like, no, you don't need that. So he ended up getting found guilty, and later on found, because he appealed, that like, hey, my fucking dude fucked up. Like, what's wrong here? Like, I should have been afforded, a better opportunity. So he got acquitted for that. But like the defense part of their rule is to like make sure that they're meeting all the requirements that say like, hey, if this guy is guilty, is there any flaws in the system that would make it to where he's not guilty? And again, going back to, it has to be in favor of the defense, because we are innocent before you're guilty. Mm-hmm. If that kind of helps explain in rough terms. They are bad people, right? We'll say that. But they shouldn't be bad people. You shouldn't view them that way.
Yeah. I mean, I view them in that way. I should put a caveat on that. Yeah, they're definitely important because it's a fair thing. I'm talking because what immediately comes to my mind when I think of a defense attorney, this image of one has ruined it for all defense attorneys. Yeah. Was that fuck Chris Watts in Colorado, the one that threw his goddamn family in oil drums? Yeah. Yeah, that piece of shit. Yeah. Seeing his defense attorney up there trying to like comfort him, and because what he was doing was like didn't seem like it was in his line of like his professional duties, like his job requirements. He was up there when there's a video clip of Chris Watts hearing his sentence from the judge, and the defense attorney like pats him on the back and like tries to comfort him. I'm like, you monster! Like, what are you trying to? That's not your job. You're there to fight for him, not there to be like, it's okay, buddy. I'm sorry. It's like this. Yeah.
So
how you feeling sympathy for that kind of dude?
So like we're good friends, right? But you and I both have enemies or people we don't agree with. We'll say, for instance. So like maybe that enemy for me and you, right? So like let's say one of my enemies. Like, have you ever heard that saying or the phrase? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, there might be plenty of attorneys that think the way that you and I do. Like, why the fuck would you want to represent him? But the way our law is written, that even if no one wants to represent him, there has to be someone to represent him. So I think, as nasty as the Ted Bundy stuff was, someone out there, some lawyer, right, thought maybe there's a chance. Maybe not like, hey, we're gonna get this guy free. Let's do everything we can. It's like maybe there's something in the system that we could work off of that maybe this guy is innocent.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the thing, even with the OJ thing, is it's really weird. I don't know how to explain it because it's you get into the ethics again, and man, this is fucking disgusting. How could you get behind this? But there's things out there that they'll spin. It's like a media thing, and if you throw shit against the wall, it's gonna stick or it's not. It's basically about how good of a story you can create that can be agreed upon, if you think about it that way, whether it's the jury or the judge, depending on how the trial's set up. But I think that's also why appeals is important, because you have people in the Innocence Project. That's a very well-known thing.
Yeah.
And
DNA, right?
Yeah, that's the main thing, is the DNA. But it's really just finding innocent people in the system. But let's say the main key play was a knife, and the dude somehow got a hair on it, but you find out later on that's not his hair. Or you find out that, hey, this guy actually did do it. Why is he not found guilty? And then you have people like this where double jeopardy. Oh, fuck, this is the no shit dude that killed him. We fucked up 10 years ago, but now we know for sure it's this guy. Well, we can't charge him.
Yeah.
It's kind of shitty. But I think the being an attorney is the job you don't want to do, but you have to do it. I don't there's just no.
Probably make some fat stacks too while you're at it.
Yeah, so it's no one wants to be a mortician. No one wants to look at dead bodies all day. No one wants to deal with that, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
You might as well make do something out of it. I don't know. I'm not trying to justify what a defense attorney is, but I'm just trying to say this is why they exist.
Well, I would never justify a defense attorney trying to comfort someone and show sympathy for someone who has been determined to be the murderer in first degree with hard evidence to the point where he's about to get sentenced, and you're still if I was a defense attorney, it'd be strictly business. Be like, all right, we're gonna fight it until one says one way or the other through evidence. But second you're guilty, get the fuck away from me. Because
I don't know. That's the thing about where I'm at in life, is I want to know more about law. I've learned the system. Now I want to know laws,
Yeah.
and where it's been applied. Because I think that's where you kind of get into that nitty gritty of you understand that this guy's innocent first and then he's guilty later, right? So at first everybody didn't fucking think it was Chris. There's no way it could be Chris. And then you start digging into it. Even as a lawyer, you start getting presented with this evidence. Man, my client is guilty. How do you handle it from that point? I don't know.
Yeah, and then you're still defending this guy who you're oh, he's guilty, and then you still gotta. Yeah, I think that's doing that.
That goes into maybe it's money, maybe it's he's just a strong,
has to be there,
put together gentleman or woman. It don't really matter in this case, gentleman, because maybe he knows this guy's probably guilty, right? But as an attorney, he's man, I think it goes into you could be disbarred and stuff. So if you as an attorney have any bias, right, or you're not helping your client, then you should dismiss yourself if you can. I think you have to go to a judge or something, or to the judge, not a judge, but to the judge of the court, and say, hey, I can't represent this guy because I would be doing it unfairly. I wouldn't be looking out for his best interest. So I think at the end of the day, he probably still knew that he committed the crimes. But I think he was strong-willed enough. I mean, this is where it gets ugly, to say all right, there's the evidence. Let's kind of dig into it. Maybe something's wrong with it, or maybe this guy is insane. I think he probably tried for that. I think it got shut down. Could be wrong, but
yeah, he got life.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't mean that. I mean did they try
the insanity plea?
Yeah. Before?
I'm not sure.
Because a lot of people do that, but the insanity plea is hard to prove as well. So it doesn't get approved often.
Dark Knight got it.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah. I don't know why.
Don't hear much about him, which is okay. He doesn't deserve to be heard about. Yeah. That fucker Chris Watts, though.
He's disgusting. Yeah. I know, I'm not disagreeing with any. it's very hard to look at this attorney and say, "What are you doing, man?"
Yeah. Imagine that family. Imagine looking at that family.
It's hard,
of
man.
the person murdered.
So
the wife's family.
Yeah, the wife's family.
Yeah.
Even his family, because that's, his mom probably didn't think he did it either.
Mm-hmm. But I was gonna say something. But yes, it's a shitty job that should exist, because what if we didn't have a defense attorney? All right, go to court. You get no defense.
Yeah.
You're just going straight to the coals. You got to have somebody defend you. But it's upsetting to see people who are blatantly, through even confessions, that they did it.
Yeah.
And then they're still there every day with them, representing them.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's how the courts work and how our laws. So I would prefer it that way. Because there's more defense attorneys probably representing people that didn't murder someone in first degree.
Yeah.
And are doing like good things to make sure that it's fair, and they're not just getting thrown in prison over something that they didn't really get a say in. Yeah. It's good for everybody to have a say. I don't disagree with that. I'm disagreeing with like them personally and how they conduct themselves with these fucking assholes.
I think what you're getting into is
their conduct.
The way they went about it. Like, you didn't have to pat him on the back.
Yeah. It should be strictly business. Like, I'm here to represent you because guess what? That's how our courts work.
Yeah.
That's
how I'm going to make money off of you.
Yeah. And
then that's just work.
Yeah, I had to look him in the face and be like, you murdering piece of shit. I can't wait to make my cash off of you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to the last tie-in, and then we'll wrap it up. So, not related to anything we were talking about with law. So we'll just start. Fresh bullet point. We're hitting enter on the PowerPoint presentation.
Tab.
And putting bold and underline. So, all memories. I fucked it up already.
And I'm the old fuck.
Maybe I should stop trying to sound so philosophical with it. So there's an idea that I wish I could say I came up with, but I didn't. It was on Rogan. There's an idea that every memory we form, all of them, every memory, our brain is a billion terabyte hard drive. Every memory, every day, everything is stored in here. There's no such thing as you see something and then it doesn't get stored. Everything gets stored. Every memory you make gets stored. But we forget that we remember them, those memories, until something comes up in our life that acts as a entryway to that memory. It could be like a smell.
Yeah, you're talking about neurons and
fuck.
Yeah, neuron something.
Yeah.
I'm going blank. It's dendrites, neurons, and something else.
You're talking forming memory passageways.
Yeah, so like you're the reason that you get smarter, or I should say your brain gets bigger in life, is not neural links. It's not. Yeah. It might be that. I could be
neuroreceptors.
Dude,
axons.
Axons part of the process.
Yeah.
But anyways, like it's about efficiency. Really, what it is in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That's kind of interesting though to think about, because you can. So if you, as a adult, suddenly remember something from your childhood when you were 4, you ask yourself like, wow, how did that was there the whole time? But it just wasn't. Like, think of your brain as every memory has its own file. Mm-hmm. And all the files are password protected. So you don't get to see what that memory is until you remember that you remember, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the password, so to speak, to access this memory is a sight, a smell, someone saying something that made you trip back and be like, oh, wow, I remember that. So the theory is your brain has every memory from your existence in it. You just don't realize it. You don't forget the memory. You forget that you remember the memory. Basically.
What I've learned is there's your short-term memory. There's like 3. Mm-hmm. So there's short-term, long-term, and then there's like one between where it's like a little bit longer than short-term, but it's not full-term. It's not like a long-term. But so if it kind of goes into studying slightly, this is kind of where I've learned it, is if you're not going to experience it again, or like I guess if you don't put the importance on it. I'm kind of going blank in this area, but like that's where it kind of gets flushed out, where it gets locked up, right? Mm-hmm. So like if the theory is that you lose everything, but like the way I'm thinking is like when it goes away, right, through the short term or the medium term memory, instead of actually going away, it just gets locked up. So you remember it, but like you're saying, it's in some vault.
Yeah. I thought that was so wild hearing that. It's like your whole childhood and all your memories. I'm not talking like I'm talking more like deeper set memories, like something that gets put in your, like the memory that if you got some kind of brain injury and you still remember it, that kind of memory, that really deep, like your like what makes you a human, like you just don't forget things, like you remember how to walk, and those like really deep set memories, like you can't forget them. I'm talking more of those kind of memories, like those childhood memories that you form, you keep them, they're still there, you just don't remember that you remember.
I was thinking about that driving, and my first memory, like I don't know, like just think about that for a sec. Like your actual first memory as a kid, what happened before that? Like why did you not remember? I know it's because your brain's forming, but like my first memory was like driving through some trees, like some forest, and obviously I can't geolocate that because I don't know where the fuck I even was. But I remember my mom used to play this country song by Keith Urban called "You're Everything." It's kind of like a '90s country song. Mm-hmm. But I remember listening to that being my first favorite song, driving through the woods, and the first word I ever spelt and like remember learning was the word axe, like AX or AXE. It didn't really matter. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. I know these words. But what happened before that? Like, why is my memory stuck at that beginning?
I still ingrained in my head my first memory. I still remember it.
It's weird though, isn't it?
Yeah. And what's really weird for me is I hope this is how it actually happened. Hopefully I haven't created a fake memory.
Yeah.
But
overlapped it.
Yeah, overlapped it. Watch the last episode if you haven't learned more on that one. My first memory was, picture if you had like one of those older TVs and it was turned to a station with just static.
Yeah.
So when you turn it on, it was just like
the white noise?
Yeah, and it was static. That was my first memory. It's like my brain was like, all right, we're going to start forming memories now. And it turned on. And then I remember I was in my kitchen with my family, and it was really foggy outside. I remember looking out, and that was like my first memory from then. But it's weird how it wasn't subtle. It's like, it like just came on.
The simulation started?
Yeah, the simulation, someone finally paid the power bill and it turned on.
Oh, fuck, we gotta hit Jonas now.
It's like, oh, shit. Or my character was just, hadn't spawned in yet, and somebody finally picked me and wanted to play as me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's my first memory, and I remember it. I say I remember it because it's possible to make memories.
Dude, you just tripped me out now. So what happens if that was our start to the simulation, right? And every time we go to bed, our character, like the person that's actually playing us, goes to bed. Just turns off and goes and plays. Because sometimes we take naps, don't we? Mm-hmm. Boom! They're taking a nap, or they are going grocery shopping, and
they pause the game.
Yeah, pause the game, left us running. Because sometimes I snore and I wake myself up. I'm like, and I'm like, oh, it's only me. So like, maybe they were away for a couple minutes and then they came back and started playing. That's crazy right there. I'm not on drugs, by the way. I am not.
And that's why I kind of want to. Well, I'm not going to say that. But just one more thing, really quick. We won't have to go too deep into it. It's more just kind of like put it out there for people to think about. Maybe you've thought about this before. It's kind of a simulation type thing, but I think this is a theory you can look up. Maybe I read it somewhere and that's how I thought of this, but I think I'd create this on my own. What if whatever you don't see in your vision isn't there? Like, how do you know that wall is behind you? Like, how do you know everything that was behind you is there? And it's kind of like it's saving space. If you're not looking at it, it's not loaded. It's not rendered. It's
like
just,
mirrors too? Whatever you can't see in the mirror?
Whatever that mirror is pointed at is there. It's there. But when you hold a mirror up, you only see that portion of what is behind you.
Yeah, whatever's behind you, I can't see because it's not there.
So that's like one of those. Somebody else, I think, I saw it in the comment section of a video one time, but it's like in a video game. I'm pretty sure in a video game it's not all rendered. Yeah. Whatever you're not looking at, why do they need to render that? Why does that have to be going on?
I don't know. Yeah, I've watched a video about that, and so like when you load into a new area and it kind of like pauses for a sec, it's because it's loading up.
Yeah.
Because it'll only load up what your character can see. It's the same premise.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like, is it there? Like you can hear the sounds, but is it there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
think about it, folks.
It's one of those things. I like it. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We had some good ones today. We didn't hit dog ownership.
Let me know what the title of this one is. What do you think it's gonna be?
This one's gonna be septic. I keep thinking about the septic tanks.
Septic tanks and porn.
It will be septic tanks and septic tanks and porn. That is the dirtiest fucking title.
That is pretty dirty if you think about it.
I kept thinking about that during the podcast. I was like, septic tanks. Who conversates about septic tanks? Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Later, folks.
Bye.
Oh, that's too funny.